this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live.
Everybody, we got a great show for you tonight.
I doubt it.
Senator Adam Schiff was my guest. Boo! Before we start the show, I want to let you know something that I found out just last night.
I don't need to fight.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May.
I don't need to be forgiven.
Good. I don't give a damn fuck.
And I am extraordinarily, deeply grateful to the 200 people who work here.
What?
It is a fantastic job. And it's a job that I'm looking forward to doing with this usual gang of idiots for another 10 months. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I don't want to hear any more of these lies.
You are fake news.
Go back to where you come from, okay?
Very fake news.
You talk like a fag and your shit's all retarded.
Round them all up. These people are sick pedophile groomers.
Hell yes.
Fed.
All right, America, go to the YouTube right now.
Skag free whoever he is.
Dude, Matt straight up sucks.
How dare you?
In 5, 4, 3.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for Sunday, July 20th, 2025. Thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun tonight is our friend, Mark Aaron. He's Canadian, but we do allow it. Welcome back.
Saddle up, partner.
Thanks, Matt.
At Liberty M. Aaron on X. Linked in the description for you. Great guest tonight. Alison Morrow's back. We recorded a segment earlier today that I'll play later in the show. We talked about the Stephen Colbert firing, the end of CBS's Late Show as well, plus the viral Coldplay affair, which you and I were talking about before live here. Maybe we'll exchange some additional thoughts about that later. The CEO and the HR lady caught cheating at the Coldplay concert. Alison was telling me maybe it isn't what it appears to be. Like maybe it's some weird arrangement that is maybe it's not because it's so brazen that maybe it's not the sort of thing that we all think it is. Even though the CEO is now resigned, so that would imply it is.
I think the live reaction spoke volumes.
Whatever it was, they didn't want it seen, and they became a tomato face. You know, like that. The levels of red in their face.
Maybe she has just a very strange HR philosophy that involves a lot of behind grabbing.
She's the chief people officer at the company. So
chief persons.
Yeah. Before that, we'll get into the rest of the week's news. The Wall Street Journal reports that Trump wrote Jeffrey Epstein a handwritten happy birthday letter in 2003 that included a drawing of a naked woman. Can we see the drawing? No, you may not. So people have had to invent their own drawings on X, but they're pretty good substitutes. Tulsi Gabbard releases a report that Obama and his intel officials committed treasonous conspiracy in 2016. Now, will we see a treason prosecution in this country? It's been quite some time. I won't be holding my breath, but the accusation is out there. To close the show, I got a hit piece this week. That's very rare for me, and I don't know if it counts. It was from Grok, the AI on X. The AI defamed me. The AI smeared me as a key spreader of Russian propaganda in a very interesting exchange.
Take what you can get, Mac.
We'll talk a little AI. I successfully debated the AI, and I knew exactly what I was doing. I wanted to test it, and people tell me that arguments with Grok are actually kind of easy to win, so maybe I feel overly accomplished. But I was amazed. Grok defamed me. I argued the points with Grok, and then Grok retracted its statement.
I didn't, because I saw the original two exchanges. I didn't see you win big time.
Grok retracted.
With facts and logic.
Exactly. Right. that should have been the title of this stream. Matt destroys robot with facts and logic, because I did. We'll get into that later. I have a hoax hate double feature. And of course, we'll catch up with your super chats as well. Hey, speaking of, if you enjoy the show, please.
We are on the precipice of entering.
It's too early for me to be accidentally playing clips. But, the duct tape rolls on. Hey, If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the show. You can do that one time or recurring for as little as $1 a month over on my website, mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Support for the show not only helps me sustain, but it pays the people who make the show possible. There are perks available for your support as well. Or you can check out the merch store. Lots of great graphics for t-shirts and mugs and more. Likewise, merch sales help not only my operation, but they support the designers who made all of these designs, and they all are listeners of this stream as well. mattchristiansenmedia.com/shop. Both of those links right there on the homepage, mattchristiansenmedia.com or mattis.gay. If you can't spell my confusing name. Got to say hello to our featured listener-owned business for the evening. That's our friends at Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing. These are high-quality, handmade premium hardwood cutting boards, charcuterie boards, serving trays, and more, all of which are great gift options or the perfect piece to class up your kitchen or anywhere else in your home. Blake at Kineo Mountain made me a cutting board engraved with my channel logo. It looks amazing. It's been a part of our kitchen for a long time now. Has not aged a bit. And in addition to the quality, that's the best part about Kineo Mountain's products. They are fully customizable, not just in materials, but also in engravings too. So if you'd like to personalize a gift like that, that can be arranged. Or if you have any other custom hardwood project in mind, no matter how big or how small, Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing can make that a reality for you. Just get in touch at kineowood.com. All Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing products are made in Colorado from premium domestic hardwood sources. Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing is the absolute highest quality woodworking that will last you forever. Listeners of this show get 10% off all Kineo Mountain Woodsmithing products and services using promo code MATT10 at checkout. Promo code MATT10, 10% off everything at kineowood.com, KINEOWOOD.com, mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals for all the information. And of course, don't forget to check out all the many fine offerings from our friends at Hero Soap Company as well. Bar soap, liquid soap, shampoo, conditioner, and more, including my signature scents, Timberline and Old West, great smelling, all natural products. And a portion of the sales benefit military and first responder charities as well. 10% off all of it. HeroSoapCompany.com, promo code MCListener. Promo code MCListener, 10% off at Hero Soap Company. Find all the information for all my deals at mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals. Deals by listeners for listeners. All right, I'm not breaking news to you, Mark, but I do have a bit of breaking news for the audience. Very important announcement to make. After careful consideration, I have decided to take the month of August off, completely away from videos and streaming.
Oh my God!
This is going to be the first extended vacation I have taken in a decade's time. There's a lot of stuff that I want to get done behind the scenes. Plus, I need some time with my family before the newest member of our family arrives the following month in September. We have our third baby boy due in September. I want to take a little bit of time for family, a little bit of time to get stuff around the office, around the house done, and a little bit of time to refresh my thinking. I am intentionally going to go get lost in the mountains for a little while, which I haven't done for a couple years now. Good ideas come to me when I step out and do stuff like that. So
100% essential, and it's well earned.
Well, thank you.
And you deserve it.
Thanks for being a part of the stream reboot. And of course, thanks to everybody who has been listening and stuck with the show through what has been a crazy year prior. And I'm going to pick it right back up in September. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not disappearing for an indefinite amount of time. Right now, the plan is to continue with content through July. So the last video and stream will be July 30th. I will then be off until after Labor Day. My plan tentatively is to return September 7th. That's a Sunday. And I will be available by email in August. I'm not disappearing. If you're a supporter of my material, my video calls for supporters will still happen as usual. My Bible study on Friday nights going to continue as normal. Just going to take that 1 month break from streaming and videos that I'm usually producing. And I just very much look forward to the reset. It has just been an insane year. I'm happy to kind of be removed from it. And I want to refresh a little bit and come back energized, enthusiastic, maybe with a few new ideas under my belt. Plus, everybody disappears in the summer too. It's like, I'm trying to get people to come hang out on this stream. And it's like, I'll be back in the fall. Okay. I guess I'll catch you in the fall.
We're just going to have to rely on CNN for our high-quality political breakdowns.
Yeah,
for,
of course.
30 days.
Anyway, of course, my intent is not to disappear on all of you who listen to this show or support this show. So if you have any questions or something that's not clear to you, you can email me. You can also see my website for the latest status updates, mattchristiansenmedia.com. It's where you find all the information. And I'll still be available through the entirety of my time off. So, and I'll be back with the stream. There's one more Sunday stream next week, and then 2 more. We got this Wednesday and the following Wednesday. So there'll be a few more streams until the break as well. But hopping into the news, have you followed the story of the Minneapolis Mom Donnie, they're calling him, Omar Fateh?
I don't know if there's a story. It's just another Somali being elected by Somalis. So shock.
Well, he would be historic. He would be the first Somali Minneapolis mayor, although he is currently in the state Senate.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just progress is great.
I mentioned this. We talked about it on Wednesday. Progress is one way to put it. I don't know what measure, by what measure it would be progress.
Whatever the measure is, it's for that word that I keep hearing.
It would be progress in a lot of areas that you don't want to progress in, and I'll just leave it at that.
Progressive.
But when I talked about this on Wednesday, I mentioned that the DFL, or the Democrat Party in Minnesota and Minneapolis, they were scheduled to meet this weekend for their convention to decide the party endorsement in that race. Fateh is running. Of course, incumbent Mayor Jacob Frey, famous for crying on the casket of George Floyd, among other stunts.
It's the only rain, like sunshine in this whole story is that guy getting exactly what he deserves.
Well, I'm not convinced he's going to be ousted. But the Democrat Party in Minneapolis did pick Fateh for their endorsement at their convention this week. So maybe
Frey a Democrat as well.
Yeah, everybody they do ranked choice voting. It's going to be a bunch of Democrats running against each other. So. Does Fateh have a path here? My sources say that Minneapolis DFL endorsement, the party endorsement there, doesn't actually matter that much. Incumbent Mayor Jacob Frey has won the previous 2 elections and was not endorsed by the party in either of those elections. So, and it sounds like the state party doesn't put a lot of money into the Minneapolis mayor's race because that thing's going Democrat no matter what. So maybe it's just a symbolic win, but symbolic wins become actual.
Well, isn't Ilhan from Minneapolis? From the same
Minneapolis representative.
She managed, and was she? I mean, she's a senator, right?
She's
she
a
was
member of Congress, representative.
So, rep. So wouldn't the same voting base that got her in be able to prop this gap? I don't know what the breakdown is statewide versus city of Minneapolis.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
I believe the Somalis are all there, right?
She's just a Minneapolis district, but I don't know what the boundaries of the city are relative to her district. They overlap, but I don't know that they're exactly the same. Anyway, more to the point, is the Somali ballot harvesting game in Minneapolis very solid? Yes, it is. So, yeah, you're going to see. It's going to look people sprinting all across the little Mogadishu market there to get their ballots in to vote Omar Fateh. There's some allegations of shenanigans at the convention over the weekend. I didn't get into all the details, but supposedly even the process by which Fateh was selected for endorsement was kind of sketchy. And maybe there were some Mogadishu ops in play for that. But it's going to be an entertaining show. So we'll continue to watch the ascent of Omar Fateh.
The contest of the lesser of two evils, the greatest lesser of two evils of all time.
Well, Frey has always reminded me of American Justin Trudeau. He's got that Trudeau vibe about him, and he's barely to the south. But
and the absolute worst. Yeah.
On another personal note, I am nearly 2 years removed from what was the most urgent medical situation of my adult life.
Deep vein thrombosis, DVT.
Are you familiar with DVT?
It's a thing.
It's blood clots. Blood clots in your usually your lower extremity. And so that's what I had in August 2023. A very bizarre blood clot in my right calf. No doctor after a bunch of testing could ever tell me why. Though as longtime listeners of the show know, no, I did not take the shot. So it definitely was not caused by the shot. But maybe someone who did shed it on me. Maybe it was caused by the virus. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Blood specialists can't tell me. I've done every blood test known to man. They can't tell me.
but it can be severe, right? Like it's not it's not a joke thing.
I had total blockage in 3 veins coming up my calf and near total blockage in a 4th. And if those clots travel upward, they travel to your lungs and you have a very serious medical problem. Anyway, why do I bring all this up? Well, there was worry that Trump had it, that Trump had DVT, because Trump had swelling in his ankles, and that's how DVT became apparent to me. My ankles got all swollen like I had sprained it or something. But Trump has had swelling in his ankles, bruising on his hands, and now he's been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, which is a common condition for people over 70, which causes insufficient blood flow back from the feet and can cause this sort of swelling. But crucially, the press secretary said this week that Trump does not have
deep vein thrombosis, DVT.
The White House delivering a health update Thursday, revealing he's been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, a swelling of the legs caused by blood pooling in the veins.
9 in common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease.
So I guess I should talk to Trump about how he avoids DVT. He's mastered it. He may have swollen ankles, but he does not have DVT.
Yeah, I believe the official term is old people legs.
That's kind of what this is. Yeah. Circulation, not great. No, this can be serious. I mean, lots of people have it, like they said, but obviously when your body is not properly returning blood back from your lower extremities, that can become a problem. Press secretary is saying he's fine, no physical discomfort at all, but there are no plans for changes in his day-to-day lifestyle or behavior. He's not going to do things like wear.
Is McDonald's the prescription here?
More McDonald's, more Diet Coke. Yeah. No matter what RFK says. But they're just going with it.
Cane sugar. Put cane sugar in the Coke, and your cankles will be fine.
Trump said he persuaded Coca-Cola this week to ditch the high fructose corn syrup. So maybe his circulation will improve. Although, of course, that's not what's in Diet Coke. But maybe there will be moves made there. Anyway, all right. Another week and still more Epstein developments and allegations.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
The latest is the Wall Street Journal on Thursday claiming that Trump gave a handwritten note to Jeffrey Epstein for Epstein's 50th birthday in 2003. This was part of a leather-bound book that Epstein's girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell gave to Epstein that year. And the Wall Street Journal says this book is in the possession of the Justice Department and that they've reviewed it. So they're claiming it's real. They've handled it. The Justice Department has it. Can you see it? No, you may not. But what they describe... Sorry.
I was just saying, it sounds like, because I hadn't heard about this story until just now. And it's in a book that he got. So it's like the equivalent of signing a guest book.
Kind of. It sounds like a collection of letters that Ghislaine had assembled for his birthday, if I believe this story.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it is legit, it's literally like she went around and said, sign the book. I'm giving it to him for his birthday.
Yes.
So
although it's more involved.
Best friends forever, for sure.
It's more involved than just happy birthday, bro, signed Donald, according to this description. And the description is outright bizarre. But the Wall Street Journal says the letter contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. So he Sharpied a woman's figure. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts. And the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. And Trump then signed it, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
That's disgusting.
Again, can we see the image of this note? No.
No, of course not.
The Wall Street Journal is not going to provide that.
It was typed out. Was it typed out in the shape of a woman and then drawn in a sketch around that shape? Like, even the story is very...
Several lines of typewritten text frame. So typewritten, not handwritten, but the drawing is done with Sharpie?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Very normal.
Yeah. Anyway, we can't see a photo of the real note, so people had to get creative. Tell me which of these, what do you think is the nicest set here? Here's one recreation that looks pretty credible.
I don't see the typewritten note. That can't be it.
I like Donald Trump as Jack from the Titanic drawing, what's her face? The real villain of the Titanic, Rose.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one is claimed to be real. I don't know. That looks more like a set of nuts than a set of women's assets. But
what year is this supposed to be written?
2003.
Yeah, no.
I think that's why he has that S thing that everyone used to make in school at the time. Yeah. Anyway, Trump, of course, has denied the report. He says he denied it. And the language they say he used doesn't sound like Trump. The language of Trump's denial definitely sounds like Trump. He said, quote, "I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words." Okay. It's bizarre to say I don't write pictures or I never wrote a picture, but that's kind of what they're accusing him of doing, that he used text to somehow create the outline of a naked woman.
What he didn't say is that he had never typed out text in the shape of a picture and then outlined it.
Yeah.
And signed his name as pubic hair. See, so he's basically admitting
that's the number one part I want to see is Donald made to look like pubic hair.
How do you, because if there was lines involved, how do you even? Okay.
Well, his let me see. That's you can't really see it on the screen. Can I get this up? Well, that's unfortunate phrasing in this context. But can I? You see? Okay, you see that signature? That is his signature. Is kind of. Well, that's not his real signature, is it? Or I don't know.
Was the signature vertical?
I don't know, but if that no, I've seen Trump's signature. It's not quite like that, but it is kind of pubic.
I've never seen horizontal pubic hair. All of the pubic hairs that I've seen, it's rare.
I guess I don't know. I don't know how you sign Donald and have it look like that, but that's the accusation. Okay.
This feels it's a lot like what was the story that like we heard that there could be an elevator tape but we don't know.
Are you talking about Eugene Carroll or who?
Or no, it was another one. It was I think it was like HuffPost or somebody said that they definitely know that there could be a tape. They just don't have any proof and haven't seen it.
Oh, but they definitely know that.
Yeah, it was a story, big story.
All right. Yeah. There are so many of these.
They definitely know that it could exist.
Oh, well, that's very clarifying. Thanks for that. Yeah. So Trump denies the report. Now he's suing the Wall Street Journal's ownership, Rupert Murdoch, News Corp, CEO Robert Thompson, the reporters who wrote the story, others for defamation. Dow Jones, the publisher of the Wall Street Journal, says, "We have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of our reporting and will vigorously defend against any lawsuit." Now, of course, the standard for Trump to win a defamation suit as president is extremely high. He's going to have to prove that not only that the statement is false, but that the people at the Wall Street Journal knew it was false and published it anyway. Not that journalists have not done such things, if not knowing they're outright false, knowing that they're loosely connected to some sort of evidence, if at all. So I wouldn't ever say impossible given the sort of things that are published about Trump, but I would not put the likelihood of success in this sort of suit as very high. But he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, no, defamation in the U.S. is like basically impossible, even if it's open and shut.
And it should be. You have
especially against the press.
The president has to be highly scrutinized, public figures in general, but especially politicians. If that means there are a few false claims about signatures that look like pubic hair, all right, I'm going to err on the side of the signatures that look like pubic hair rather than being too censorship heavy.
Yes, we need that the right to claim anything looks like pubic hair.
Yeah. Not to be outdone, the New York Times ran its own Trump Epstein hit piece over the weekend, Inside the Long Friendship Between Trump and Epstein. And I don't know who wrote this headline. I just thought you can't use the words long and inside when you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
He touched young people.
But it seems like that's intentional, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to default with yes.
Well, the story describes 15 years of best friendship. Not really. I mean, they don't state it quite that aggressively, but 15 years of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, in the words of this New York Times reporting, mingling side by side as public friends. And the story makes connections between Epstein accusers and Trump. One Epstein accuser worked at a spa as a spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago. Another says she was eyed by Trump during a brief encounter at Epstein's office. She was eyed by him. Okay. Wow. Another says that Trump groped her when Epstein brought her to Trump Tower. The story does also describe the Trump-Epstein fallout around 2004. As far as I'm aware, this story doesn't present any new information. It's just a recap of known information or known accusations. Unless I'm misreading this, there's nothing in here that's actually new. It's just, I guess, the New York Times jumping in on what's trendy right now.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for something. Like, Trump is not helping himself with just the bullshit. Like, why are we still talking about the guy we've all been talking about for 10 years? Like, Trump is his own worst enemy right now in this regard, but there's nothing. Okay, they both lived in Florida and hung around the same friend group.
Pretty much, yeah.
You got anything else?
And now Trump is, speaking of Trump's messaging, well, it's gone from, we got phases coming out, it's all on Pam Bondi's desk, to it's a hoax and nobody cares about that, back to, okay, a lot of people cared about that, so now we're going to try to make moves to get more documents released. And so Trump's DOJ on Friday moved to unseal grand jury documents from Jeffrey Epstein's prosecution. And the DOJ is now trying to convince 3 separate federal courts, I believe, because it's Epstein's prosecution, Maxwell's prosecution, and then there's a third case too. But DOJ is telling the courts, we're going to redact victim-related information, any other personally identifying information prior to releasing any documents. The problem is the release is not up to Trump's DOJ. So,
really?
Yeah, it's up to the federal courts that oversaw these criminal cases. In this case, it's going to be New York-based judges.
Oh, good times. Yeah. Well, that's
so. But maybe if you can show, maybe the strategy is show them that Trump is in the Epstein documents, and they'll rubber stamp it right away.
Maybe, but then saying it's a Democrat hoax too. I don't get, like, because this was Republicans have been the ones, as far as I know, who've been the ones pushing for it for years, and.
It's kind of
he
been
makes himself sound. When after Elon came out and said Trump's in the Epstein in the files or on the list, I don't remember. And then Trump coming out and saying no, it's a Democrat hoax. It's like, oh, okay, so you are in the files or on the list, and then saying no, they don't even exist. But we're going to push to get the things that don't exist released to the public. Like, it's a shit show.
It has made no sense for weeks, and it has been incredibly irritating.
If you want to look guilty, do exactly this.
Yeah. But the problem here is that it is incredibly rare for courts to release grand jury documents related to grand jury investigations. There are some narrow exceptions for when that happens. But in general, public interest, which is what Trump's DOJ is citing, well, this has become the subject of intense public interest or public scrutiny. That's not usually a reason to release documents related to grand jury investigations. And
is
so
the investigation ongoing?
No, it's the grand jury investigation
that
that led to his charges in 2018, 19, whenever that was, that put him in jail where he allegedly killed himself. And then there's Maxwell's prosecution as well, but Maxwell's convicted and currently in prison.
Right.
So none of this stuff is an ongoing investigation or an ongoing prosecution. It's possible based on what I'm not an expert in these things, but what I'm reading here in Politico reporting would suggest this sort of thing is not common, but not impossible. It's just, even if you think this is going to happen, we're going to see a bunch of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell prosecutions and the grand jury investigations. The arguments about whether this is the proper thing to do or not, they're potentially going to take months. So you're not going to see any documents coming out of this for a good long time while these questions are evaluated. But
did you watch the Tucker Carlson Daryl Cooper interview about Epstein?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's really good. It's just, it gives you a different perspective on the whole thing, which is like, no, here's exactly what Epstein was running, and it was actually more theft than blackmail. He used the blackmail to steal people's money, and it was kind of everybody's money. Didn't care who it was, and it's definitely worth watching. Totally different.
Okay, so the allegation is he got people caught up in compromised situations as a means to extract
them
money.
from going after. Well, he would get involved with their companies, get them to give them money to invest or whatever. Basically, just straight up steal from them and then have blackmail on them so they wouldn't sue him.
Ah, okay. So the blackmail was secondary to the theft. It was like a protection mechanism for the theft.
Exactly. And the procuring the sex trafficking was to get the blackmail, which was to get the money.
Well, is that just
and
a
Daryl
theory, or
Cooper's
is he providing evidence?
Nazi, so well, it's Daryl Cooper. So,
but is he providing evidence that we haven't heard of yet, or is this just kind of a theory of what might have happened?
Well, so again, I just watched the Tucker interview, and in most of that, he's referring to like a 9-hour podcast series that he did, and I haven't watched that.
Okay.
Which I believe he's usually pretty good at citing his sources and not just spouting off. So I would assume it's pretty backed up.
Does he have a theory for why Jeffrey Epstein was not prosecuted for the theft if the blackmail itself was exposed?
Corrupt system, and he, tentacles.
Yeah,
basically, he's got a little piece in everywhere, and everybody was. It's just if you're talking about wherever Mar-a-Lago is, like that small area in Florida, which there's just some pockets of Florida which seem to be very special areas. Where's the one where they had like the 3 shootings and the sheriff was involved, and it just kept. Wish I could think of it.
I don't know.
One area in Florida completely corrupt. There was.
I was thinking of the Bermuda Triangle off the coast of Florida, where everything goes to disappear, and Pam Bondi's desk is right in the middle of it as the meme
in the comments.
Yeah.
In the comments, I think there was like 2 or 3 shootings. Oh, it was like for about 5 years in the news. You'd be like, oh, that county again in the news.
I don't know.
Where the
there's
thing
Florida
happened.
Man is always a meme, but I didn't know it was one particular county.
It'll be in the comments.
Okay. Well, someone will clarify.
But Florida's special.
But hey, just in case you haven't had enough big claims from this administration about who's going to be prosecuted and go to jail. Now we have a new one. Obama is going to jail, or maybe James Comey, or maybe James Clapper, or other people in the Obama circle of friends in the intel community. But this week, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard declassified documents that she says show former President Obama and his National Security Council committed a, quote, treasonous conspiracy when they misrepresented intelligence to start the Trump-Russia claims after the 2016 election. So she says, based on review of intel documents, which she has now declassified, and you can review yourself, the intel community in 2016 shared a consensus view that Russia lacked the intent and capability to hack U.S. elections. Then Trump won the election, and even after the election, the intel community was... They had prepared an assessment for the president that concluded Russia did not impact U.S. election results. Then that conclusion was pulled back due to the installment of new guidance. And former FBI Director James Comey and former CIA Director Brennan and former DNI Clapper, they all gathered at the White House to discuss Russia with Obama. And then Obama and company created this Russian election meddling narrative is the accusation, and they used their friends in media to push this hoax. And again, Tulsi Gabbard says these documents show that there was a treasonous conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people committed. And so she is sending the matter to the Justice Department. It's going straight to Pam Bondi's desk. So you know something's going to happen. Implicitly, this is a criminal referral. And so, like all of these stories, get back to me when you have a charge, then I'll care. But this is really frustrating. Now, I know that Tulsi Gabbard is not a prosecutor. She does not make a decision about who to charge. She can only refer what she believes to be potentially criminally implicating information to prosecutors, which she has now done. So I understand that her personal power is limited, but all of these people operate within the Trump administration. And so broadly speaking, this group of people is now accusing the former president of committing a treasonous conspiracy. You have 2 options once you've done that. You can prosecute the people who committed the treasonous conspiracy, or you can shut the hell up and retract.
Right.
You can't.
Exactly.
Hey, remember that treasonous conspiracy? Oh, weren't those good times? Okay, moving on. You can't do that. So
don't do what you just did, please, because that would look really bad.
That's like the only way they could make it worse is if they did it over again. We're going to show you everything with Epstein. No, wait, we're going to show you everything with Obama.
It's a Democrat hoax, the treasonous conspiracy, and nothing happened. It
wait
did
till
not
next
kill
week.
itself. Yeah.
So for now, I just want everybody to enjoy your AI Obama arrest because I don't think you're going to see the real Obama arrest anytime soon. And the AI is getting so good. It's nearly as good. So just enjoy the show of the FBI picking up Barack Obama and taking him to jail. Now I would play the sound, but I got to be very careful. It's way too loud, but also I found out that I can play like 3 seconds of YMCA before they crack down on you for copyright reasons. Anyway, it's on Pam Bondi's desk, so, everything gets done there, right?
Stuff's going to happen. Sealed indictments, Matt. So many sealed indictments.
And
coming down.
It's not just that. I forgot to grab a story. Let me grab this one. We'll get to Obama's podcast commentary in a second. But it's not just the claim about the treasonous conspiracy. There's another piece of potentially legally implicating information against Joe Biden's administration that came out this week. We all remember the accusations that Merrick Garland's DOJ under Joe Biden, that they were going after parents, that parents who were getting rowdy in their protests at school boards for policies on corona and transgenderism and critical race theory and all that stuff, that AG Merrick Garland was threatening to try to prosecute these people. And that was denied. No. We were never going to go after these parents. Well, now
Isn't that when they called them domestic terrorists?
Yeah, there was that. I think they issued like some public statement that, yeah, exactly, said that they were akin to domestic terrorists or something like that. But they always denied that they were actually going to go after these people and that the FBI was like staking out these places and watching them and all this. Well, now there's a letter from Kevin Chambers, who was an aide to Merrick Garland, and he was saying about these protests because people were coming to him and the DOJ and Merrick Garland and wanting these parents to be dealt with. And in one email or a letter, he responded about these parents saying, "We're aware the challenge is finding a federal hook," as in a way to to get them under federal law. And you know what that sounds like? It sounds like a conspiracy to violate a constitutional right, which is what the special counsel charged Trump with related to January 6th. It's what Merrick Garland and company charged Douglas Mackey with, the guy who made the vote Hillary by tweet or text memes. But this is actually that. This is people sitting around strategizing how to violate the constitutional rights of what is that? Are you doing a thumbs down reaction in the Zoom just did an emoji in your video? That's weird.
I have no idea where that came from.
I also give it a thumbs down.
Yeah. Down, boo on the doing this shit. Yeah. It's just so frustrating. Like, didn't we I say the colloquial royal we, was Trump not elected to go after them and do all the things they did to him back to them? Wasn't that like the whole, like, yes, arrests. They proved to him that they were willing to violate every norm, every rule of the Constitution, arrest everybody, try to throw him in jail, threw so many people in jail. And Trump was going to come back and raise hell and do this to them. And it's just story after story after story of like, oh, here, there's legit proof. This is what they did. And then.
But nothing happens. And
come on.
All of these things, I think, are more credible prosecutions than the one. Yeah. The ones done against
total
Trump.
Bullshit.
They're not. If you want to talk about conspiracy to violate constitutional rights, this appears to be the DOJ doing exactly that. Well, technically what they're doing is constitutionally protected, but maybe we could find some weird hook to get them on. That's a conspiracy to violate constitutional rights with criminal prosecution. If Obama did what Gabbard is accusing him of, if they all sat around in the White House and said, well, I know the intel community doesn't think Russia was that involved, but we're going to create some narrative to discredit the incoming president and act like he wasn't legitimately elected. Yeah, I don't know if treasonous conspiracy is the appropriate charge, but that seems to me
it's appropriate enough. It's more appropriate than what they used. So use it. But do you think it's just because they lack the institutional support to actually get like whoever it is down the chain of command just won't do
I don't
it?
know. Or it could be like a political hesitation to embrace what will be perceived as revenge politics.
So
but
then what? They might try to throw you in jail next time they're in power. Like
I generally don't want to live in a country where someone else violated the rules, so we violate the rules to get back at them because everything descends into chaos. But yeah,
do the rules,
right?
Do the rules because they violate. Come on.
At some point, I mean, who created the rules? There's that point. And at some point, I know it's not as immediate as a guy pointing a gun in your face, but kinda. I mean, these people have pointed guns at people's faces, and now someone else has the gun. So I'm not saying point guns at anybody's face. I am saying that maybe people who have spent the last X amount of years pointing guns at other people's faces might have a gun pointed at their face to get them to stop, to deter them from pointing guns. Yeah.
That's why we have guns, right?
Yeah. So I'm not sitting here just advocating for a scalp. I do think that there are credible reasons.
I am.
Pick your scalp.
All the scalps.
Whatever scalp.
Many scalps.
But lessons have to be learned, rules have to be demonstrated, and if they didn't open this box on political prosecutions, maybe we wouldn't have to consider these sorts of things. Maybe we could be a more gracious country and not have something where the party in power just tries to criminally prosecute their opposition. We don't have some sort of insane third world scenario like that. But
what's the line? Stop breaking the law, asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I have that one in here somewhere. Where is it?
If you guys just stop doing this shit, we wouldn't have to arrest you for it, and then we could go back to like civility. I believe it's Jim Carrey from
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Yeah. It's a very simple lesson. If you guys could just commit to it. Anyway, so Biden doing it, Obama doing it. Pick your scalp is the moral of the story, I guess. We'll go with that. But to close out with some Obama topics, this is just Obama appearing on Big Mike's podcast this week, and he says every man needs a gay friend. Of course, he does have a gay friend, Michelle.
Got him! Got him!
But every man needs a gay friend. Just in case you have a gay son, because then your gay son can hang out with your gay friend.
I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group, so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right.
There, like, no concept of was it chicken the egg, cause and effect? Like, maybe. How is your kid supposed to turn out to be a traitorous gay commie if you don't let him get raised by gay commies?
Yeah, I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking exactly that. Like, you need to have a gay guy on hand just in case your son needs some grooming.
Round them all up.
Exactly.
These people are sick pedophile groomers.
And he said it, not us. All right, like that's the thing. That's what Obama is saying there. And I'm thinking, why would you ever grant that some other man is a better source of guidance for your son than you are? And I understand we have people like teachers in our kids' lives, coaches. Sometimes we do grant other people a little bit of influence or authority over our kids. It's not as though we never do. But Obama's commentary here is so far beyond just that.
We need a term for like cuckold parenting. Like I just see Obama sitting in the corner in a chair while another man raises his child.
Yeah, what would we call that? You're right. We need a term for that. And listen to some of this other another quote from him during this segment. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy, one dad.
It just sounds so bad.
No matter how good the dad, he can't be everything. I think young boys need exposure to as many,
come out, just
any gay men as possible. Holy crap, man! But you're right. It is that
so
theme.
Many things I can't say on YouTube right now.
Of course you can. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
All right.
I have a family.
Well, have you considered outsourcing that?
Many gay men around your child. It's just the more the merrier.
Just put a sign outside your home, family for rent. Just if anybody has use for influencing my children, have at it. Because of course, who would I be to guide them through the moral complexities of the world?
If you thought gay men buying kids was bad, I would just hand them over free.
I don't even understand what this means. It's like, okay, you just assume any other trait in your son besides homosexuality. Like he likes this or he likes that or he does this or he does that. Your son is never going to have the exact same traits that you have. He will have some things about him that are different than you are, but I would never treat that as a reason to hand him over to another man for guidance simply because they may share some of those traits.
Okay, devil's advocate. This is like the gay commie version of my kid's really good at football. I want to get him a coach.
Yeah.
Is that
okay? Maybe
so my kid's kind of a fag. Like I need to send him off to.
I need to send him to the Alabama or LSU of being gay. He's highly recruited. He's a 5-star recruit.
He would never have become the gay man he did without the other gay men there to guide him through this process.
He needs the Bill Belichick of gay to really to make him the Tom Brady of gay.
You got to get him in young, dedicated.
God, that's what he's saying, though. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that is what he's saying. And
I think it's just a lack of a word. Like he doesn't understand. Like, dude, do you know how that sounds to regular people?
Yeah. Well, and it totally undoes. The whole point is like, oh, this is inherent. This is part of who you are. Yeah. Well, if I don't need like a blue-eyed guy to coach me on how to be blue-eyed, that's kind of who I am. That's the way.
It also kind of inherently defeats the born like this,
born
this way motif, right? Yeah. It's like, oh no, coached this way. Like, yeah. So
anyway, all right. Unless you have any more to say about that, I figure we'll take a few super chats.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Before I get to my segment with Allison. So let's hop into a few of those just so I don't leave those guys hanging for a very long time. Over on Rumble, we'll start over there. Elbot making his usual appearance. Thank you, Elbot.
I am not going to be niggardly.
Yakko, 1977. I hope the information being released by Tulsi Gabbard nets results. We'll see. Russiagate was more than just a smear campaign, in my opinion. It was a soft coup, at least. Treason at worst. Treason cannot be tolerated. And that's the word that she's using. People aren't interpreting that. She's saying it was a treasonous conspiracy. Okay. That is a constitutionally defined term.
An insurrection of sorts.
Undoing the will of the people, undoing election results. Yeah.
Wasn't that J6?
Well, yeah.
They wanted to undo an election.
That
was the framing of J6.
Just like they were accusing people of conspiring against constitutional rights while they appear to have been conspiring against constitutional rights.
Yeah. Methinks they doth protest.
Spirit of Lexington, hey, my
Kaniga
or Kanigas. I've been in between houses for a couple months, so I couldn't listen live, but now I'm in my new house just in time for Matt to go away for a month. Well, hey, congratulations on your move. And don't worry, I will be back. So you enjoy your housewarming, and I'll be back in September to meet you there. So thanks for supporting the show. Dangerous Spaces, our friendly producer, says, to be clear, the letter was basically a conversation between Trump and Epstein written like a script. But to be frank, Trump is well known for drawing naked women and writing scripted conversations, right? If you can show me one other known Trump nude woman drawing, maybe I'll buy this. But I don't know. Or was it just for his best friend, Jeff?
Or at least like come up with like a thing that is a thing. Like, this is a thing that people do and Trump did it, but like a thing that I've never heard of happening ever in the history of humanity, and we can't see it. It's a stretch.
Over on Blankets, or over on Odyssey, Blankets sends me. Like Stephen King had the weirdest tweet this week. Did you see that Stephen King tweeted, the Epstein client list is real, so is the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus?
Yeah, he's on it. And it makes perfect sense.
He was in on that theft scheme, I guess. He got some of his book royalties taken from him.
I think he was just there for he's like, take my money. Oh, I need the blackmail material.
He touched young people.
No, he didn't. I want to be clear from a defamation perspective. Blanket says, Matt, how are the fruits and vegetables? Fine, thank you. I was mentioning in a recent stream, we're growing food in our backyard. We're doing some
nice.
The first time I've ever done that. So we got all kinds of stuff, peppers, tomatoes.
And it worked?
Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, the stuff is like half ripe now, but we've eaten some of the peppers. Strawberries are pristine. Peppers take forever. Tomatoes are coming in. But yeah, it's
amazing.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, congrats.
Blanket says, Matt, do you still listen to popular music? I do but I don't I don't follow any particular band because they're destined to make me mad, because inevitably they're going to post some politics that I hate. So what do? I mostly just have Apple Music on my phone, and I allow it to shuffle in various like pop or workout playlists. And I mostly listen when I'm driving in the car or I'm at the gym. And that's pretty much it. And so it's always kind of in the background for me mentally, where I don't have to think about their stupid politics. I'm just using it as kind of an energy source or a little bit of an adrenaline rush. So
I pretty much graduated to music without lyrics.
Yeah.
I do YouTube music and just playlists. And if you like simple, upbeat jazz, Richard Freeman playlist. And it'll do radio and it'll play stuff like it. And it's just great, like bossa nova type of jazz. And beautiful. You don't have to want to kill anybody.
He doesn't post anything on social media?
No, I don't. Oh, shit, I haven't checked.
AP.
I want to know.
I'm excited for the DVT jokes with Trump tonight.
Deep vein thrombosis, DVT.
I always have that sounder buried, thinking it's never going to come back, but I don't delete it because who knows who's going to get a DVT. Enjoy August off. Well, thank you. You deserve it. Can't wait to see you in September and at my birthday party in December. That's right. I can pick you up from O'Hare. Well, like I said, AP, I definitely can't commit to travel. But if you would like me to participate in some other way, if I can call in, or hey, I will send you a happy birthday letter and I'll even draw a naked woman and sign my name in the pubic region if you want. Email me and we can coordinate.
You should sell those on your website.
I was I said, I'm going to go walk in the mountains for a while and just like ideas come to me sometimes. And so maybe that's it. Like maybe I should sell
$20 personalized birthday cards in the shape of naked women from Matt Christiansen.
Although I upcharge for pubic decoration.
There can be a tiered pricing system for how accurate.
Tortuga, even more shockingly, Trump has also been confirmed as having typed 5537808 on his calculator. Flip it upside down if you don't know what that means.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Do we know? Have we found Trump's TI calculator from sophomore year algebra or geometry or whatever it might have been?
We haven't found it, but we heard that we might have found it, and we're pretty much for sure that it could have been found.
Do you ever play? I assume you had those graphic calculators when you were in school.
I did.
Yeah.
I never used any of the functions.
Did you play the games though?
No.
Oh man, there were so many great games.
You're talking like the Texas Instrument, scientific calculator.
They had super basic games.
They had games?
Yeah.
I think I'm way older than you.
Maybe they weren't out then, but I'm talking like more basic than Game Boy games.
Yeah, no.
And some of them were
it was strictly boobs, and
that was the best game. Was writing boobs.
Writing boobs. We just did that over and over. Yeah.
There was one where you kind of had to keep your car character in between the cones forever. It was like this snake game. I could do that infinitely. I think I set the record on like every calculator that was in the math class. But you never played Drug Cartel? I mean, if you didn't play any of the games, I guess you didn't play.
See, but I think I was on like the first BlackBerry at this time.
Okay.
And it had a very similar style games.
Drug Cartel it wasn't even a graphic game. It's just you could pick which city you want to go to, like Chicago, New York, LA, and there were drugs available for purchase, like, weed, mushrooms, cocaine, whatever. And the whole point of the game was to make money, so you buy them at a lower price in one city and go to the next city and sell them.
It's exactly the game I imagined would come with a calculator.
Yeah, Drug Cartel. Yeah. And somehow Drug Cartel was not erased from all those. Because I'm talking about calculators that were school property, like they were borrowed to us, because those aren't cheap. Back in the day, you had to pay like $80-$90 to buy them. So they're probably more expensive these days. Although, I don't know. There's a scientific calculator on your phone. So does anybody still use TI, or is that out of business? I don't know.
No, the only ones I've seen lately are the accountant calculators, which are like the big ones, so they can do it with one hand. Obviously, they still use those. It's way faster than a phone.
Yeah,
but
if you're good with like a 10 key, yeah.
These are not the circles I run in. People that use scientific calculators.
Esoterica Unbound. Gabbard's story is so obviously an effort to get the media clucking about something other than Epstein. It seems embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, it could be as simple as that. Although, in fairness, I've heard this story teased for a few weeks now, like John Solomon and some others were talking about it. But I guess the Epstein stuff has been going for a few weeks now, so it could be strictly that. That dog won't hunt. Russiagate failed, so no one cares. Epstein is a hoax, is a betrayal of his base. Yeah, I think... when this all started and when Trump was issuing his first statements on Truth, it was like, this is some of the worst stuff he's ever done. After a few weeks of this, it's got to be the worst thing Trump has done as president. I have a tough time thinking of something that was worse. Oh,
no, this is like monumentally bad.
Yeah.
Like there's no bigger story really in the past while than Epstein was like the scandal. And to just turn completely 180 from shit you've personally said.
And then telling everyone to fuck off too, and like you're an idiot and a weakling if you disagree.
What do you care that I said the opposite thing when I was trying to get elected? Yeah, it's really fucking annoying.
All right, well,
maybe it's 6D chess, Matt. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bitch on Trump. I don't hate the guy. He's making it hard, and he's embarrassing people who've stuck up for him, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, and everybody, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are in that same position. And it's been a very irritating story to navigate because if you're anybody that's trying to get at the truth, even if you like Trump, you know that the things he's saying that are contradictory can't possibly be totally aligned with the truth. Some of them have to be false. And you're trying to figure out what that truth is, and then he comes out and says, ironically, on Truth Social, fuck off, you're a weakling, you were never my supporter, I hate you. Yeah, it's a very frustrating experience.
You're so gay.
Yeah. It would have been better if he said that.
Yeah, at least go full on.
Yeah.
Retarded with it. Yeah.
All right. Well, time to get to my guest, Alison Morrow. She can't join the show live, so we do pre-record. We talked the firing of Stephen Colbert and the cancellation of The Late Show at CBS, plus the viral Coldplay affair moment and some other things. Segment's about 41 minutes, so I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. My guest tonight is Alison Morrow. Find her material at alisonmorrow.locals.com. Her X and YouTube accounts are also linked in the description. Alison, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure as always.
Well, we're going to talk first the Stephen Colbert firing and the end of The Late Show at CBS. But before we get into the details, as I mentioned to you, I have a tradition on this show. Whenever someone goes away, when a career ends, when something is it just goes away like this, we remember them to the tune of Sarah McLachlan and some of their most memorable career moments. And so, without further ado, we will remember The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
I will remember you.
The vaccine.
Die, die, die.
Will you remember me?
FBI Director James Comey has just been fired by Donald Trump. Wow. Huge Donald Trump fans here tonight. That shows no gratitude at all. Did Trump forget about the Hillary emails? Thanks for the presidency, Jimmy. Now don't let the door hit you where the Electoral College split you.
Oh my God, that is funny! Don't let your light.
Joe Biden did it. I sat down and just started crying with relief. And Evie said, you never have to talk about him again. And then I cried with joy. Well, it happened again. Now, I want to take a moment to congratulate Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on running an amazing 107-day campaign.
I've become friends with school shooters.
All day yesterday, I was walking around proudly wearing my I voted sticker. Today, I wore my I am questioning my fundamental belief in the goodness of humanity sticker.
Do you have a favorite Stephen Colbert or Late Show moment, or did you ever watch a single second of it?
Honestly, you nailed it with the vaccine sketch. That definitely goes down in history. I remember talking about that when I was covering the COVID vaccine and the vaccine mandates, for which I was fired from my state job for talking and criticizing people like Colbert who did that. I honestly, I was frankly speechless, but I guess at the time, and watching it again, I'm speechless sort of again, but at the time we were kind of accepting that this was normal, that people doing this, and we were seeing this kind of behavior on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's actually more shocking to look at it now again with, a couple of years in between, that was, I mean, okay, Matt, just think like what other pharmaceutical, okay, like would you say everybody has to take? Everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, what your age is, what pre-existing conditions you have, any of that. We're going to dance around with Viagra. Everybody get your Viagra. You're an idiot if you don't take Viagra.
Don't give them marketing ideas. Someone will run with that.
I know. It's as stupid now as it was back then, but it's even more shocking with a couple of years in between.
Yeah.
So no, you got my favorite. That was definitely by far
Well, it is crazy because you mentioned the absurdity of like festive pharmaceutical presentation. Now you turn on daytime TV and you're going to see that all the time in the form of advertisements for the company. But the merger of that daytime TV pharmaceutical ad with late night comedy, allegedly, really was something to behold. Yeah, that was it's so weird to go back and look at those and remember what was supposedly saying at the time.
I don't know what happened to Colbert. Maybe he was always that way deep down inside, but he played a good part on the Colbert Report. I actually really liked the Colbert Report. Maybe
a lot of people did.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that reflects that I've changed. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch it and see if the Alison of 2025 would have liked it as much as the Alison of 2010 or whenever it was on air. But whether he was pandering to his audience and so maybe he wasn't as fundamentalist about, say, the vaccines or other issues that he's been very vocal about, but he just knows his audience likes it. I guess that's a possibility. Or he's a true believer. Either way, the Colbert Report guy was gone, many years ago. And this, sort of Democrat pundit mixed with a little bit of humor that only some people, and I wouldn't even say all people on the left really even like. I mean, I would say that, the populist left wouldn't even really like Colbert now as a late show host, and the way that he's kind of just stumps for the neoliberal, mainline Clinton type, Obama type liberal. So he's not only lost conservatives that I think used to like him, but, going along with that world, like there were a lot of populist lefty leaning types that watched my show and were very concerned about medical freedom and pharmaceutical companies owning the government and owning what we were allowed to talk about online, and would have been very turned off by that particular segment and other segments of his. So he's splitting this pie with other left-leaning hosts in the late night world. He's lost conservatives, and I think he lost the populist left too. So the Writers Guild is blaming this on his criticisms of Trump, but I think it's just equally fair to say that he may have been canceled for what CBS said, and that is just financially was not working for them.
He was probably losing a share of a shrinking pie because late night overall has been in decline too. And I want to get into these claims about this is some censorship effort or this is government corruption. Before we do that, I'm curious if you have any insight as to how these TV networks operate. Of course, you spent a long time in TV news. And what I found odd about the announcement is the fact that they're going to say this 10 months before it happens, and Stephen Colbert is going to do a 10-month lame duck show. Really quickly, I want to play his announcement. He says that at the end.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
hell yes.
Yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
Now, I don't need to buy into the theories about why this may or may not have been canceled for whatever reason. I do find it odd, though, if you intend on letting it go, why wouldn't you just make the announcement closer to the time that it ends so you don't end up with like a year of a weird lame duck show that's not going to work for everybody? Everybody there knows it's not going to continue, so they're not going to work hard, and everyone in the audience knows it's going away, so they might think about watching something else instead. I don't understand the business decision in that regard.
Right. It could possibly be that in his contract, he has something written in where you have to give him a certain amount of time heads up if you're not going to renew. These people will have like, hey, you have to tell me within 30 days, 90 days. People like me who are very low, on the food chain in the TV news business, we had clauses written in that we would have a negotiation within, 90 to 30 days at some point so that we would have a chance to find a new job. I only had to find a job that was like, 1/25th of the amount of money that guy makes, probably even less than that. So maybe he has got a clause like that. I don't know. I mean, why he decided to go public with it, if that is in fact the case, I don't know. That's a great question, because if the company comes to you and says, hey, we're not going to renew your contract, he obviously has the ability to keep that a secret for the next year. Why he released it? Maybe he wanted to release it with the timing exactly for the reaction that he got, which is all these people saying that, he's being censored over his comments on Trump. I think it's weird that if you're censored for your comments about Trump, that they're not replacing the show. They're just cutting the show. They're not cutting just you, right? They're cutting the entire thing. If it was just about you, why would they cut the whole show? If the show is in fact a moneymaker and you were just being punished for something that you said, then you would go, but the show would stay. I mean, that's usually how it goes. So that's a little odd to me that people are saying that it's because of his comments when, the whole thing is going away. And a lot of this programming is getting cut. Look, one of the things that was happening back when I was in the business, I quit in 2019, but for a good, really, honestly, my whole career, I started in 2007, 2008, and it was the recession hitting, and we were getting rid of all kinds of syndicated programming because we were going to try to do everything in-house. So, you're not buying shows anymore like Dr. Phil or The View, because instead you're going to replace it with an 11 o'clock newscast that your paid staff is going to host. And that way you don't have to pay for a syndicated show. That's how a lot of TV stations were saving money during the recession. And, over the years, there are affiliates that just don't have the Late Show anymore. They don't have any other number of shows because they're replacing it with newscasts or something that's cheaper. I just think it's absolutely believable that that's what's going on here. And you're right to point out that it's kind of weird he told us. Maybe it was because he's got a clause in his contract says he has to. Why did he tell all of us about it? I don't know. I mean, it could have been for this exact reaction.
Well, whatever his motives may be, of course, everybody, people generally of progressive persuasion are saying the things that you mentioned. You got the Writers Guild, as you sent to me, saying that they understand that cancellations are part of the business, but corporations terminating a show in bad faith due to explicit or implicit political pressure is a dangerous and unacceptable practice in a democratic society. When they're calling for an investigation, I've just browsed this story. Do they specify who's going to investigate this? Who do they want to investigate?
Yeah, no, I don't know. And what is that even going to amount to? Nothing. They're just doing that to do exactly what it's been doing, which is I've seen journalists, former peers, friends of mine posting like, see, this is exactly what we were worried about under Trump, loss of free speech. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm waiting to hear from one of you about the fact that I was suspended from my YouTube channel multiple times. I was fired from my government job, lost my First Amendment rights to be able to associate or talk to who I wanted to on my free time. Nobody cared. And in fact, I remember talking to somebody that used to work at, they're retired now, but they were at the station that I quit from in 2019 in Seattle. And I remember talking to them about the potential effect of all these firefighters, the wildfire firefighters that were getting fired over the vaccine, and what was the effect going to be on wildfire season? Because they were, we were going to be down all these crews. And that's what I was doing for the government. I was shooting videos about wildfire for the Department of Natural Resources. So I pitched this story to the wildfire reporter at my old station, and he said, I have no sympathy for people who chose not to get the vaccine. Because his personal view of the vaccine was, as he told me, he felt like he'd been rescued from a raging river when he was taking the vaccine, and he was angry and judgmental towards people who chose not to. So he didn't even care about the story of the wildfire fighters because he just didn't care about people who were castigated for not choosing to get the COVID vaccine, and that's how a lot of reporters felt. So I really the whole frankly, every complaint that I hear from journalists about the Constitution under Trump, even if I may agree with some of the things they're bringing up, I'm like, it's like the world's smallest violin for me. I really just like have a hard time even listening to it just because I'm sitting there thinking, you know, we saw one of the, if not the biggest crackdown on the First Amendment over the last few years, and you guys loved it. You salivated over it. You cheered it on. You thought we should all be removed from the internet. You guys were the only ones who were allowed to tell people about Pfizer and misinformation. Like none of us out on the internet had any rights, and nobody cared. So okay, they go after Colbert, who's got like gazillions of dollars. He'll be totally fine. And now we're losing constitutional rights, or it's not fair, or it's retaliation, or whatever. And he worked for a private company.
Did you hear the sky is falling tiny violin-worthy speech from Senator Chris Murphy? He posted on X.
No, I haven't seen it.
Let me play you a little bit of that.
We are on the precipice of entering a censorship state in which Donald Trump is using the powers of the federal government in order to erase criticism from the airwaves. What's happening at CBS right now is bone-chilling. CBS's parent company, Paramount, is trying to get a merger approved, and they need that merger to be approved by the Trump administration. And so in a variety of different ways, Paramount is providing monetary and political favors to Donald Trump. They have now canceled Stephen Colbert's show, knowing that Stephen Colbert was a nightly thorn in the side of Donald Trump. This is all clearly designed to get their merger approved so that their millionaire and billionaire owners and investors who are already filthy rich can become even more filthy rich.
So his case is a little bit beyond just eliminating a political opponent. It's all about buttering up Trump so that he approves this Paramount merger that's pending. And they're saying Paramount has done a bunch of favors for Trump to get this deal done.
Okay, look. I think TV companies can be real sleazeballs, all right? I'm not going to sit there and say that I know for sure that, like, look, they're just, you know, it's everything they're telling us. They're always telling the truth. I work for a TV company. I know how it works. I think that they're far more focused on financial statements than they are about morals. I think really, maybe perhaps during COVID, we saw that they had this martyrdom complex where social control, their desire for social control and social conformity in the way that they see it, that came out maybe above money in some cases. So those two things do compete. But is it possible that is one of the factors that's playing into it? You know what? I guess it could be. I don't know for sure, but I guess when I sit back and listen to that, it's like, look, it's a private company that is making a decision about what somebody said on their air, okay? And there were all kinds of situations way worse than this of like, okay, a doctor, for instance, a journalist, Alison Morrow, right here, all kinds of people like, I live this. And there were none of these, I mean, from this side, okay, from the people who are concerned about Colbert and the Late Show going away, and that this is retaliation and corruption and like, I don't know what his First Amendment rights would be in this particular case. What are his First Amendment rights? I didn't assume that when I worked for King 5 in Seattle or any other number of TV stations I work for, that I could just go on the air and be like, hey guys, I hate this station. It sucks. Or I hate our president. He's terrible. You know, I mean, of course I couldn't say that. And anything that I did say was in my contract that if I made the company look bad, and it may have been in his contract too, if you make the company look bad, you're done. You sign that contract, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, is Colbert the investigative journalist that I'm missing something here? I mean, I guess that's why, well, even if that were the case, it's everything the Writers Guild is saying. You know what? This is how the game is played. It's not like I necessarily like it. I wish journalism and the state of TV news was better. I might still be a TV news journalist. If that were the case, I left because of issues with being able to challenge actual power structures and authority, not the fake ones that a lot of these people think they're challenging. I left because I didn't think the system was going to change. So like you say, is it possible that this is happening in the background? It's possible. It's possible that what the Writers Guild is saying is happening, but I'm still, like I said, it's so confounding for me how these emergencies that erupt with like a gazillionaire late show host who I used to really like the Colbert Report, how all of a sudden he's a martyr for what? challenging authority and giving us the truth and standing up to Trump. And I'm having a hard time because
they act like he's the only one too. Chris Hayes over at MSNBC saying not really an overstatement to say that the test of a free society is whether or not comedians can make fun of the country's leader on TV without repercussions, as though Stephen Colbert was the pioneer in this art form. He's the only one ever to do it. He's the only one who ever will. And I want to emphasize before we move on, it is reported from sources at CBS that The Late Show was losing $40 million a year. Your job is to be funny. Your job is to entertain.
Yeah.
You try your best. Sometimes you don't do it. But Stephen Colbert, you heard him say, we have 200 staff members, 200 people working on this show. You're losing $40 million a year. Maybe they would have been willing to downsize budget-wise. I don't know what those behind-the-scenes conversations were. But for all the worry about the test of a free society is this or that, the test of a viable business is whether you make money. And if you're losing $40 million a year on a project, that project is not going to last. That's just the financial reality.
Yeah, and okay, everybody makes fun of Trump. Everybody makes fun of Trump. You are not, maybe not everybody, but a lot of the comedians, a lot of the media, they're all aligned that way. They make fun of the guy all the time. There's plenty of people who still have their jobs. And okay, in this particular case, like you said, maybe, all right, it's a sensitive moment in CBS's business dealings. I don't know. I just think that when you have, that was Chris Hayes, right? Who said that?
Yeah.
Okay, when the problem that I have had over the last 5, 6, maybe even 10 years with the way that journalists look at power is they have this warped view of who's really got a lot of power. They miss the fact that the media, the Democratic Party, all of these sort of major conglomerates tend to align ideologically. It's only been until recently over the last couple of years that we've had this exit movements where people have started to speak out against the Democratic Party and had people in the media who have left, for instance, and spoken out about the bias within the media. That's kind of a new phenomenon. That was not widespread when I left in 2019. And so they think that that making fun of Trump is that's a novel. You're brave to do that. Everybody who's like Stephen Colbert makes fun of Trump. You know what I mean? They all make fun of Trump. That's not brave in his world. In his world, brave would have been saying, hey, vaccine dancers, sit down. I think people have the freedom to choose what they want to do during these mandates. You know what I mean? That this is too fast. What's going on here? He would. So
I think he did that, by the way. I think he expressed some vaccine skepticism in 2020. When it was still in development, if I recall correctly. I don't have the clip handy.
They all did, yeah. When it was warp speed and it was under
I'll
Trump.
never take that Trump shot. Now you must take it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you when we really needed people to stand up to this just really just crazy time that we lived through over the last few years? People might say that's whataboutism. You know what? I'm not sitting here saying that I think I know for sure what happened in this particular case. Matt, I think you bring up great points. If you're losing a lot of money, you've lost a significant amount of your audience because frankly, that I wouldn't be surprised if half the audience just after the vaccine sket were I'm out of here. I'm not watching anymore. Yeah. I wouldn't have, so it could be that. But look, if the Writers Guild is right, okay, and this is it, and somebody leaked them information and they know somehow that this is really what's going on. Look, this is the world of big corporate network news. If the Writers Guild thinks for 1 second that before this happened, okay, let's just say they're right, but before this happened, it was pure in late night comedy. It was pure in investigative journalism. There was no retaliation against journalists who actually spoke up, people who really wanted to question the system, people who wanted to question Biden during COVID, all that stuff, question the vaccine, the mandates. I mean, this is so. It always just, I guess the hair on the back of my neck starts to stand up when I see these moments where they're jumping on a popular opportunity to make themselves look good, like they're actually working for justice or they're being brave and they're standing up for the little guy, when that's not what they're doing at all. And all the other times that they had an opportunity to do that, they never did. Yeah. So I just have a hard time taking them seriously.
Yeah, well, the audiences will continue to shrink, it seems, but that's all right. I want to talk about the viral moment of the week, which is, of course, the cheating couple caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert outside Boston on Wednesday night. And quick summary of the facts here. I'll get your thoughts on it. But they were both in leadership at this tech company called astronomy. And the kiss cam, of course, if you've ever been to a sports event or a concert, the kiss cam, during a break, they'll highlight people up on the big screen, couples, and the idea is you kiss and everyone claps. But this couple apparently did not want to be seen as publicly. This is CEO Andy Byron and Chief People Officer, which I gather is just HR lady, Kristen Kabat. And they didn't want to be seen on kiss cam because they're both married to other people. So here was the moment.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And that's the Coldplay singer guy. Chris Martin's his name, right?
Yeah. Right.
His commentary is correct. They are having an affair. He nailed it. So Astronomy said in a statement they're conducting an investigation. Axios had reported that Byron and Kabat are both on leave, but yesterday USA Today reported actually that the CEO, Andy Byron, has resigned, and that's according to a statement from the company, so that's confirmed. My first question on this, if you're going to cheat, and of course you should not, but if you're worried about being seen publicly in a cheating scenario, maybe not as on such a scale as they were, but you're the CEO of a company, maybe not the biggest celebrity in the world. It's not like anybody's going to pick him out, but you're in leadership at a business. Why are you out in public doing this public display of affection at all? Forget the kiss cam. It's very risky business even without the kiss cam.
Matt, I have no clue how ballsy some people are. The only thing I could come up with is there's two options here. One is that we haven't heard some kind of weird arrangement that he and his wife had. I mean, this could be possible. I know she, took her name off of her Facebook or whatever that I'm reading, that you took pictures down and stuff, but that could just be because she's embarrassed. I mean, is it possible they had some kind of weird relationship? It is possible. No one's talked about that. I'm guessing you're just, you are getting up the top of your game. You're CEO. You make a ton of money. You're in a crowd of a gazillion people. You told your wife you're at some kind of business conference in Boston. I don't know. And, you just didn't think about the kiss cam. I don't know. It's ballsy to me. I'm surprised about it too.
Well, and I wonder too,
I don't know.
I need the full video, as in, were they the first ones up on kiss cam? Because to me, if you're there holding someone affectionately who's not your wife in a public setting, and you see, oh, look, the couple's on kiss cam. Dude, get away from her immediately, because you're about to be on kiss cam. You should have been able to see that coming, unless they were the very first one. I don't know how it played out.
I don't know. I saw the video just before it. It was just, it was like I saw a wide shot of Chris Martin, and then he's just strumming his car looking around, but I didn't see right before they were on camera. So that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they're not even paying attention to the camera. Sometimes I've been at concerts where I didn't know that the camera was even on people. Look.
It's hard to tell there. It looks like there's a cut on the screen. It's hard. Who knows what was on the screen beforehand, but...
Well, there are the conspiracies abound also about this. Like he was deep in some kind of like intelligence, data sharing type world. And this was retaliation against him in some way or blackmail. I don't know, but I've seen those theories out there that this is not just some organic event, that this guy was highly connected in some way. And this was some kind of blackmail against him.
I'm open to it because just surface level, the behavior is so strange. Obviously, we see all kinds of infidelity. That's not necessarily strange, but yeah, I mean, even if you're the CEO of the biggest company in the country, to do this sort of stuff, I guess maybe you'd be less inclined if you were, because you're more recognizable. But I don't care how big you think or how big your ego gets. The risk of doing this on public display, I can't believe anyone would accept. And so that's interesting. I hadn't thought about potential alternative explanations for why we saw this scene. But the other thing I ran into, and this is assuming that the scene is authentic, that what we saw is exactly what it appears to be. It's just a simple case of adultery. It's just infidelity, guy cheating on his wife cheating on her husband. And Matt Walsh had posted on X, one of my least popular but still correct opinions is that adultery should be a criminal offense punishable by serious prison time for both parties involved. His reasoning was it causes direct and immeasurable harm to your spouse and children, it's rooted in depraved indifference to the people who are supposed to be closest to you. And I thought about this, and my gut reaction was, no, I mean, it just seems like unnecessarily harsh, I suppose. But the more I think about it, like we don't criminally punish breach of contract, for example, and fundamentally adultery or infidelity is breach of contract. However, isn't it something more? Isn't there victimization of other people who are closest to you? It's beyond just like, well, I know I told you I'd provide this service for that amount of money and I didn't provide the service, and so we go to court and I'm forced to either compensate you or do what I said I was going to do. Is marriage something above that? And I didn't realize actually the decriminalization is fairly recent. It is still illegal in 16 states. 3, it's a felony, though it's pretty much never prosecuted.
Wow. Interesting. All right. Well, I believe Matt Walsh is a Christian, right? Am I correct to assume that? I think
he's
he is
Catholic,
a Christian.
I believe. I don't know.
Okay.
I know he's a Christian generally.
Okay. Well, I it's interesting we're talking about this too. Maybe it's not interesting because my pastor obviously saw the story about the kiss cam, the Coldplay's kiss cam. So he talked about it at church today. So it's in our sermon. It's gone everywhere. Here's the deal. It's the 7th commandment, I believe, is you shall not commit adultery. If I remember the sermon today, it's commandment number 7. But the reality is, okay, adultery, yes, you could look at it as this contract. You signed a marriage license. The government approves that you're now a couple and you get tax breaks or whatever else. But for the Christian, it's a sacrament, right? We believe that it's a promise we've made in front of God. And ultimately, adultery is not just the physical act. I mean, where does it end or where does it begin for a Christian? Is it pornography? Is it looking at the person who walks past you at a grocery store and, checking them out? Jesus said that anyone who looks at someone with lust has committed adultery. So for a Christian, where do you draw the line on that one? Because I believe ultimately you did break the commitment to your partner, but you also, probably far worse, you broke the sacrament you took before God. To me, I would personally leave it up to God. That would be, I don't know, because I don't know where I would draw the line. I mean, what is adultery? Is it that somebody, because I would probably draw the line. Well,
there's that practical argument, and as people were going back and forth about this on X, that's, as far as I gathered, that was really the chief argument against was, well, what counts? Is this adultery? Is that adultery? And I do grant that definitions would be difficult to create. However, that doesn't satisfy the moral question. Is adultery a violation of the rights of someone else in the same way other crimes are? Is adultery a moral wrong in the same way theft or fraud might be? And I have a hard time arguing that it is not. It's the same sort of deception of a person for personal gain or, their abuse, their loss. The more I think about it, I think maybe we have gone astray as a country. We got to start locking these people up. No, I don't. I guess what I'm saying is you don't have to go full authoritarian, throw people in the gulags to recognize that the normalization of divorce, adultery to some extent, I suppose, all the reasons that marriages fall apart, that the normalization of that has massive consequences, not just for husband and wife, but for children, and so for the health of society overall.
Right. But I don't think that, perhaps the fear of consequence would keep people from, maybe they'd think twice about it, but does the fear of going to jail, just out of curiosity, does the fear of going to jail or being sentenced to the electric chair, is that what keeps you from murdering people, Matt?
Me personally, no, because of course there are moral principles against that. Though I do think it's a very interesting debate about whether the philosophy of justice, the philosophy of law enforcement, do we aim for deterrence or do we just aim to bring justice to the crimes that are committed? What's your take on that?
Well, I guess the reason I was bringing that up is to say, not because I don't believe in the criminal justice system. I do, though I think in a lot of ways the justice system is a big mess. But that said, I believe that it serves a purpose. There must be consequence for actions like killing someone. But the reason I'm saying that is because the vast majority of us do not murder because we we don't want to kill someone, right? It has nothing to do with we want to kill someone and we would do it except for the fact that we're going to go to jail forever. I mean, this is me taking artistic license, I guess, here, because I don't know. I've talked to 1 or 2 people as a reporter who actually did kill someone. So I personally, I don't know. I haven't been in this situation where I've actually made the decision, but just taking their word for it, the justice system was not what kept them from doing it. So in other words, I don't know if the metaphor works, but I don't know if the adulterous action, however you want to define it, would be thought, would be lessened, I guess, by the fact you would go to jail. I think the fact that what you would think that somebody would losing their marriage, losing their kids, not being able to have all the time with their kids, having to do a custody deal, and then potentially paying out significant amount of money, that would be enough. That you would think that would be enough. That you took, but it's apparently, it's not. But I just don't think that. I don't know, because I guess because I look at marriage from a spiritual sense, though you know what, you bring up fair points. You're right. I don't know if I see it as any differently, because frankly, at the end of the day, I think the heart of the person that is doing all of his actions is all the same. I mean, it's all the same. It really comes down to me, it's just a spiritual depravity that we all have without God. So I just don't see the difference. But I don't know.
On many of these topics, I arrive at the same conclusion. It's not to say that laws are unnecessary. They are. We want to bring justice to crimes, and that's why the justice system exists. But the justice system can only do so much and take us so far. Without a moral revival among people, we are doomed to become I would say become, but that would imply we haven't yet. We are doomed to be a degenerate society, and until that is resolved among people, your justice system can try to correct people, but it can't correct them all if they reach critical mass.
Yeah, I mean, 2 things. I think number one, that if that's look, I totally agree with you. You said there are all these consequences, emotional, psychological, financial, spiritual, whatever, to the act of adultery, just like the other crimes that you just mentioned. However, wow, I mean, that being the reason that somebody doesn't cheat, I mean, it kind of says to me wow, where have we read? Though you're saying that it's
marriage
still
is hanging on by a
places.
thread, regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wow. But at the end of the day, I think the reason that the reason that people, okay, let's just take it, for example, another person that I'm familiar with, through my job, multiple times going back to jail for drunk driving because she's an alcoholic. And it's not deterring her to stop drinking. Why? Because the reason that she drinks has nothing to do with jail. It's because she's really angry, right? She's really, really angry and has some forgiveness work to do. Jail's not going to keep her from doing that. And is it going to keep a person who, is promiscuous and doesn't have, the heart towards their wife or their husband, that is full of love that comes from God? Then no, I don't think jail's going to do that either. I mean, you might stay married, but at the end of the day, I guess what I would rather see is, hey, if somebody wants to make it illegal, fine. But what I would prefer is, if you're in a situation I think it is fair if you go into a divorce after something like that you don't get hosed, okay, as the spouse. I think it's fair that person pays some kind of monetary.
Agreed in full. I can't believe that. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about this. Generally, infidelity has no bearing on child custody. If there's a divorce that results from infidelity, that's not a consideration in determining who gets what custody split of the kids, which I find to be unbelievable. Now, don't quote me on that. That could vary by state. I'm not sure that's true everywhere. But generally speaking, it's not held against you in a lot of places, which is unbelievable to me. I don't have to say throw you in jail to say you betrayed the marriage. You're not going to get the same share of the pie that was the marriage or the family that you destroyed. That's just not, you're going to have to pay a price for that. So totally with you on that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's complicated. I guess, ultimately, one question I have for you is, why do you think we're all interested in this particular case? I mean, is it because we're all depraved on the inside and we're cheering like at the Coliseum at somebody else's downfall? I mean, why do you think this particular story caught the attention of so many people?
I can only speak to my interest in it, and it's two things. One, it's like how bold you are in doing this. I can't believe that. But two, I think I just think that in a society where we're losing trust in everything, individual people, institutions, everything kind of raises your eyebrow. You're skeptical of a lot of people you meet or encounters that you have. If you can't trust your spouse, who can you trust? I know that ship has kind of sailed if you look at divorce statistics, although I'm told that that's kind of inflated by serial divorcees, whatever the term may be. I guess that's why it's interesting too, is because it's just I'm looking at that and imagining what it feels like to be that wife or that husband, and the embarrassment and just how your life, it's one of those moments where like there's life before and after if you're involved in that. So to me, that's why it fascinates me, in addition to all the moral themes. But before I let you go, I wanted to give a little bit of time to reading news to chickens, or the ongoings of the chickens at the farm. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening with your chicken bits?
Oh, well, I got the sense that some of my audience, if not a lot of them, are starting to just get really tired of just the news cycle. It's just heavy. We've come out of a lot of negativity over the last few years. And sometimes the news is so bad, it's like, wow, I mean, there's war, there's pestilence, there's adultery, there's, it's all this stuff. So you just kind of need to read it to a chicken to digest it without taking a long walk off a short bridge, as my husband would say. So that's what I just read it to the chicken, so we all take it and just release it without having to let it ruin the rest of our day.
Well, here is a recent installment of Alison Morrow reading news to chickens.
We did end up bombing Iran while you were sitting on that egg. Now there's a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, but no ceasefire among people fighting online. What did I say? Oh, no. I don't get into arguments with people online. You might say, I ran away from that mess. Why? Because it's a huge waste of time. You never change anybody's mind. Then again, you look extremely bored. You might want to consider it. And a bathroom products company, QS Supplies, surveyed 500 Americans and found out that on average, we spend 49 hours on our phone while using the toilet every year. The dirtiest group, boomers. They're the least likely to clean their phone after using it while going to the bathroom, but you would know nothing about sitting in your own manure. And those are the headlines you've missed while you were sitting on eggs for the last week.
It's the chicken laugh that gets me. That's what makes it a great bit. But sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like they know.
Yeah.
The hardest part about doing that whole thing is just it's so hot in Florida. And the laptop is burning. It's like putting your hand on an oven, and you're just sitting there like, get it right, Allison. Say the sentence right the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like dripping sweat by the end of these. So, but it's fun.
It's tough on the chickens too. I know. People may not be aware. The chickens were actually also caught on Kiss Cam committing some sort of immorality themselves.
Yeah.
Here was that moment. Now, speaking of logistics, how hard was it to get those Mr. Potato Head hands or whatever those were on the chickens?
My husband is amazing at engineering stuff like that. He was a special operations Marine, and so he can like put anything on the chicken, like whatever you want, a little backpack, what do you want on the chicken? He'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It probably wasn't fair to the chickens because, like I brought up when you're talking about the CEO guy that we're all discussing, and we don't know what his arrangement was with his wife. The reality is the rooster shares the hens in our coop. We wish we're not going to throw him in jail. We're not going to throw him in the stew pot. We know that's how chickens are, so we're letting it slide.
Why was he running away in shame then? What did he have to be ashamed about?
Well, behind the camera, my husband was chasing him.
Oh, I see. Okay. There may be some holes in the plot, but the bit checks out. I like it. Anyway, that's my guest, Alison Morrow. Find her at AlisonMorrow.locals.tv. Her YouTube and X accounts are linked in the description as well. Alison, is there anything else you'd like to promote?
Oh, that's it. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for making time for me. Welcome back. Thanks again to my guest, Alison Morrow. Find her links in the description, alisonmorrow.locals.com. What happened during the break? You injured yourself?
No, it wasn't today. It was 2 days ago. Because I'm on the 15th floor, like the top floor of an apartment building, and I have all windows on the side. It was a huge rainstorm, and so I was standing on the couch, closing the windows, and then I stepped off into a puddle and sprained my good knee.
What's wrong with your other knee?
I dislocated it 15 years ago, and it's still just like that now.
What about all that Canadian health care? When are you going to go get it fixed?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Oh. No, I am. So I'm basically paraplegic.
Are you able to sit in the chair to complete the show, or do you need?
I am, but I keep kicking the table in front of me and then trying not to cry.
Before well, thank you for enduring through the physical pain.
Thank you.
Before we move on to me getting defamed by a robot this week, did you have any thoughts you wanted to offer on either Colbert or this viral cheater case?
Yeah, fuck Colbert. Oh, okay. And he, I don't know, like he sucks and people don't want to watch, so they're ending the show. What do you want to do?
Should we lock up the cheaters though? Where do you stand on that?
Well, so I have two different. So there's like that is cheating a crime thing? Yeah, I guess, but it's not worse than I think getting divorced should be the crime because that's got the same victims and it's breaking the same vow.
But isn't divorce valid? Isn't a divorce valid if it is caused by infidelity or adultery?
Well, yeah, but that's not the case for in 80% of divorces now. It used to be really hard to get.
What if we agreed to jail the adulterers and the no-fault divorcers? We need a lot of jails.
I don't
create
know
some
if
jobs
jail is the thing. But with the just for their personal case, because I see a lot of people hating on both of them and saying they should be fired. It should be the end of their lives. And other people saying it shouldn't affect their professional life. And for the professional life thing, I have a two-tiered system because he's a CEO. I'm pretty sure cheating is part of the job description, whereas she is the head of the people department, which I believe is HR, which is the bullshit monitor people department. So her job is literally to fire people for doing this. So yes, her career should be over. She should be shunned from the corporate world. Out. I mean, that's without my opinions on just HR in general, which I kind of hinted to there. It's a make work program.
Whatever gets women out of the workplace, really.
Yeah, exactly. And
are tired of women.
Yeah, I think we could all agree on that. All right. I mentioned I got a hit piece this week, and an unusual one. Of course, I count them where I can get them. I'm not complaining. I enjoy my hit pieces. They're few and far between, and really the ones I have are related to the tenant media scandal from the fall, as is this one. But this hit piece that I received is notable because it was done by a robot. It was done by Grok on X. Grok is the AI on X.
You pissed off Mecha Hitler, Matt? How far right do you have to be to cross Mecha Hitler?
I thought that was Elmo. Is Grok also Hitler? Oh, Grok went crazy too, didn't it?
Yeah, you missed the
crazy. I guess
best
depends on who you
that's
ask,
ever happened on the internet.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Grok preceded Elmo. Grok influenced Elmo. Yeah. That's right. So I guess Grok is defaming everybody. I'm just I'm second in line as always. But if you haven't used Grok, that's the AI robot on X. Sometimes it does tell you that Hitler was right, but generally you can ask it questions of fact on X and it'll return you an answer. I mostly use Grok to draw images, not like Trump style. I've not asked Grok, please draw a naked female outline with Donald Trump's signature as in the pubic region. But maybe Grok would return you something. Generally,
somebody do that right now.
I think Grok has rules about what can be drawn, and Trump birthday letters to Epstein are not allowed. But that's how I've interacted with Grok, is mostly through the image creation tool. If I'm making thumbnails or something like that, and it does sometimes produce photographically accurate results. It's really good. But you can also ask Grok questions of fact. And on Friday, a group called the New Reagan Caucus, which I don't know anything about, some kind of pro-Reagan, maybe anti-Trump. I don't know them. but this is a Republican organization that likes Reagan and wants a return to Reagan ideals, I guess. They asked Grok, hey, Grok, what accounts are the biggest spreaders of Russian propaganda? And as I'm editing my video on Friday night, my phone lights up, and normally I get Twitter notifications for people I mutually follow, or if a high-profile account mentions me, and, that's not often. So every once in a while I'll see it, though. And But I got light-ups on my phone or notifications on my phone about Grok is mentioning you. And so I guess Grok is a very important person. And I've seen this before, and I don't like to get caught up in Twitter bullshit, so I generally just don't even look. But for some reason, it told me, you need to look at this one. You just take a break from your video editing and look at this one. So all right, what is this? What's Grok talking about me for? And it's because the Reagan caucus had asked who are the biggest spreaders of Russian propaganda, and Grok responded with no prompt other than that. Based on DOJ indictments and reports from 2024 and 2025, key spreaders of Russian propaganda on X include all the tenant people and characteristically yours truly listed last at ML Christiansen. All right. Because of allegations made in an indictment from the DOJ last year. And I've talked the tenant story to death. People listening to the show, generally, but in case not, there is zero evidence that anybody on the project was instructed to say pro-Russia things or any particular thing. Every piece of content I produced for Tenant Media was done by me at my own direction. It was in my contract that I had complete creative control, and I would have left if they ever told me to say a particular thing or not say a particular thing. So, without relitigating all of that,
can I just ask before you jump into that? Did anything happen with that DOJ investigation?
No, that's why I had a fight with Grok.
Yeah. Okay.
No, the problem, it's not just that like Biden's DOJ didn't pursue it. They charged Russian nationals, and those Russian nationals are not going to get extradited to the United States to face prosecution. So they never charged anybody they could prosecute. The people they're listing here in the Grok response, they didn't get indicted. I didn't get indicted. In fact, the FBI and the DOJ considers us victims. I got an email from the FBI that said, hey, Matt, we think you're the victim of a crime. Want to talk to us? I thought, oh, cool. Thanks for letting me be the victim of a crime for a year. But no, I would not like to talk to you unless you're compelling me to do so. And that's how that went. And so I thought this was funny. Like, I'm getting defamed by a robot as a key spreader of Russian propaganda. If I'm a key spreader, like one of the biggest spreaders of Russian propaganda on X, I must have like a secret following that is not reflected in the numbers. How is my account one of the biggest spreaders of Russian propaganda? I have a very modest X account that I don't put a lot of attention to or effort behind, frankly. But I just jokingly tweeted out, hey, Elon Musk, it's always an honor to be defamed by AI with the handshake emoji. And Grok responded, and I think asked me a question or had some response to this. And I thought, now I know I'm arguing with a robot, okay? I know I'm fully aware of what I'm doing here. I know I might look like an idiot to some people, and I know it's kind of annoying when people start talking to Grok on X, but I just have not interacted with Grok in this way. So I'm going to indulge. I'm going to argue with this robot, and I'm gonna ask it on what basis it's calling me one of the top spreaders of Russian propaganda. And Grok says, you're in the indictment, even though you're not named in the indictment. Remember, I was commentator 6. I was never charged. My name, Matt Christiansen, does not appear in the indictment. So you actually have to.
Really? Oh, no?
Yeah, I'm just commentator 6.
And so what's the association? How are you specifically commentator 6?
How does Grok know that?
Well, how does anyone know that?
Because news reports made the connections to the people, and then I came out and just said it. And I'm quoted. Commentator 6 is quoted as me. Like they took a quote from a video that I made and said commentator 6 said this in a video. And there's a video that I made. So there is a
direct link that pegs you as that person.
And plus I had already tweeted like, this is bullshit. I'm commentator 6.
and you have also talked badly. We just called Obama a gay commie. So there's your Russian state propaganda.
So anyway, Grok is saying, well, you're in the indictment. And the indictment says this was all a big Russian propaganda op. And I said, well, Grok, the government never proved its case with that indictment. These are just accusations. They were never proven in a court of law because the case was never prosecuted for the reasons I just told you. Only those Russians were charged and they were never brought here. So Grok, for someone who's telling everybody to worry about Russian influence, don't you believe in a presumption of innocence or do you just throw people in the gulag, Grok? I'm curious to know. And Grok responds and says, well, yeah, of course, presumption of innocence is an important principle. But presumption of innocence only applies to those criminally charged. Those Russians who are never going to come here to get prosecuted, they deserve a presumption of innocence. You're just named in the indictment, and I'm summarizing the indictment, even though I wasn't named in the indictment. But I said, okay, Grok, those Russian guys, if they are presumed innocent until proven guilty, because that's all an indictment is. It's a set of accusations, not verified fact, even though Grok told me these are verified facts. Well, if you say that they deserve a presumption of innocence based on the same document that you say is unproven in a court of law, how are you then calling me a key spreader of Russian propaganda? If it's unproven as applied criminally, how is it proven as applied just in the more casual sense to me? And Grok said, well, I'm relying on statement of facts from the indictment, and I'm just summarizing those. And I said, Grok, well, the indictment doesn't call me a key spreader.
Grok had no idea who he was messing with.
I know. Grok got fucked up.
You fucked with the wrong person. There's going to be like 1,000 videos.
No, it's like
detailing
this was like 7 back and forths over the course of like a half hour. I know it sounds like a lot, but I didn't go.
But
too
there's
crazy.
a lot of content here, Matt. Come on,
I just thought, like,
milk this.
Can I get a robot to bend the knee a little bit? And people tell me that you can actually argue with Grok a little bit. Anyway, I said, Grok, the indictment does not call me a key spreader of Russian propaganda. It doesn't name me, and also that term's not in there. You just made that up, and you're doing that based on a document that you say is unproven. So, Grok, based on this understanding, would you kindly retract your accusation that I am a key spreader of Russian propaganda? And eventually Grok did. Grok retracted its statement. Said, to be precise, I retract calling you a key spreader of Russian propaganda, and note you were described in the reports as unwitting. Facts matter. And I said, thank you, Grok. I appreciate that.
Well, again, from my very basic understanding of these large language models, right, it's heard that said, so therefore that's going to be the default.
Yes.
What it thinks it is, and so therefore you are but that it can learn that quickly and change its mind is encouraging.
Well, there's massive discouragement and encouragement here. And
yeah,
I first of all, Grok has more integrity than the average politician or journalist, so that's kind of encouraging. But that's why this discussion was so fascinating to me. Again, people who use Grok or interact with Grok more than I do, you might say, yeah, that's actually like, you can tell Grok the sky is green and it will eventually agree with you. Maybe that's the case. This is my first attempt at debating Grok. But
because I'd been one of those guys who does the @Grok, is this true? For a while, until I realized like it's completely biased. It's based just 100% on whatever the sort of preponderance of commentary is on any specific subject.
Yes.
But so I really don't interact with it much in a conversational way, but for work, I use it all the time, and it's phenomenal. Like I didn't really use like ChatGPT or anything, but I can ask it like, write me a property description for a 2-bedroom corner unit in this building, and it'll.
Do you owe Grok royalties for that labor? What does Canadian law have to say about that?
Let's go with no.
Grok is your
because I have to
writer.
Again, proofread everything and check it out. But in terms of like collating, like putting together and properly assimilating information about a really general topic, just to give you the outline of what you want to present, it's phenomenal. It's really, really useful for that.
Please
for
proofread,
getting the truth about political people. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is you're going to get a description that says this cozy 2-bedroom apartment in Uptown is just the place for you. And also Matt Christiansen is a Russian propagandist. So fuck him. So, yeah.
And Epstein didn't kill himself.
All right. So
every single time.
Fascinating to me in that it was encouraging and discouraging. Now, first of all, what you're saying, very discouraging to be, this is bad for anybody, but it's obviously pressing to me since it affected me personally. All this is doing is Grok is just synthesizing information that's out there on the internet. And of course, I know if you Google my name, you're going to see a bunch of mainstream media articles accusing me of the same thing explicitly or implicitly because this whole thing was bullshit. So I get that that association is going to be out there. But it's crazy to me that Grok, in synthesizing that information, picks me out of the internet space when someone just asks a generic question. Who's a key source of Russian propaganda? Oh, that guy specifically, Matt Christiansen specifically, of course, listed after 5 other people who are way more important, but also him. And from a amplifying defamation, if you want to call it that, or just amplifying mainstream media and government bullshit, that is very discouraging because, of course, Grok is presenting this as like I checked authoritative official sources and it says that he sucks, so fuck him. You can see that happening to a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
There's a big liability issue here with AI and defamation.
It will amplify defamation, yeah,
and or just create it out of whole cloth.
To your point, key spreader of
how responsible is whatever corporation is feeding the input parameters for this thing that people are going to trust.
It is crazy to me that Grok is not just saying CNN host said Matt Christiansen is a key spreader of Russian propaganda. Grok itself said that.
Source claim.
It made that up. It did not cite the source it claimed to cite didn't say that. It invented that phrasing based on its own synthesis from that source. And but on the other side of it, the encouraging thing is it's capable enough to be reasoned with. And I know, as people have told me, just because it bent the knee to you doesn't mean it's not going to lie about you the next time that someone asks it. It doesn't seem to remember. Like if you asked it on your account about me, it might repeat the same lie.
Oh, so even after it learned to you, it wouldn't spread that through.
That's what people tell me.
That wouldn't populate all of its brain and adjust its responses to other inquiries.
That's what people tell me, but I don't know if that's true or not. But but in the encouraging side, I'm very. I asked Grok for some specific information, and it did. I think the citations were flawed. I asked it, like, what did I say about Ukraine that you think makes me a Russian propagandist? It pulled some specific things. Now, I think it was mistaken in its interpretation, but it still was able to pull specific things pretty quickly. And I'm able to go back and forth with Grok, assembling a case based on Grok's own principles, and Grok will stick to its principles and is capable of being persuaded against its priors if you can demonstrate that it is not, in fact, following the principles that it identified. That technologically, that is super cool. It's also kind of scary because what robot future are we looking at here? Are the robots going to be the sort of helpful assistant that writes up a property description for you, Mr. Real Estate Agent Man? Or are the robots going to be Terminators based on government and media lies? I'm sorry, official sources say you are to be murdered, and bang, bang, it goes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, as we saw illustrated with Mecha Hitler, there's really sort of encouraging aspects of something which is really just an aggregator of the public opinion on a topic at a time, because it doesn't have human emotions of fear and like, I shouldn't say this because I might get judged or something. At least that seemed to be what was demonstrated through the debacle as it phased out Grok 3. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like encouraged and terrified because it's the effect of its inaccuracy. So there's two thoughts. One thing is there's something, I don't know what the technical term is for it, but once AI starts feeding its opinions or the content it generates off of content generated by AI, there's a corruption level in the accuracy that's just going to just skyrocket.
It's like
after like 10
photocopy. We can't do this.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
10 iterations, and once there's 20% of the information that it's building its opinion on is, generated or created or whatever on its own, it's just invented by
if
it.
you thought a bunch of pathetic journalists
undependable.
sitting around making up lies was scary, wait until the robots do it. It's
exactly. It'll be like HuffPost on crack and without a conscience.
On the plus side, they're all going to be out of work. But on the downside,
it'll be the Guardian.
Yeah, on the downside, like they can create the same content much more efficiently.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway,
but on the flip side, it's also raging white supremacist.
Well, thank you for indulging me in my story of victory over Grok.
Congratulations, butthead.
It's a proud moment in my career, so I'm happy to share it with you. But are you ready for some hoax hate?
Yes.
All right, let's
my favorite kind of hate.
Let's get into it.
And now, the nobody saw it happen, but it's totally a product of Trump's America hoax hate crime of the week.
Ah, shit, it's backwards. You think they'll notice?
It has happened yet again. There have been several cases like this. Another alleged noose sighting at a construction site. This time, the site of the new football stadium under construction in Nashville, Tennessee.
Investigators say a noose was found at the new Nissan Stadium construction site. Now work on that site has been suspended, and Metro Police are investigating. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell says the city has taken steps to prevent hate incidents like these.
Yes, it is very concerning. There is an open investigation. I know the Titans are cooperating with our Metro Nashville Police.
The Tennessee Builders Alliance, who is overseeing the stadium construction, released a statement about the incident. They say in part, quote, "We are outraged and deeply saddened by this act. We are working in close partnership with our client, trade partners, and unions to ensure every worker understands that racism and hate have no place here. Everyone deserves to feel safe, welcomed, and treated with respect and dignity."
So just like the Trump birthday letter for Epstein, can we please see a photo of this noose? No, you may not.
Yeah, I know nothing about this story, but I would like to know, is it something that would already have been at that location for a specific purpose that only loosely resembles something that could be mistaken for a noose?
Yes. Construction sites have a lot of tools, I'm told, and you could go to a construction site and find shovels and conclude that must be because they're about to bury a bunch of bodies, or
mass grave. That would be that's only in Canada. They have
right. Oh yeah,
rocks underground. Yeah. Probably genocide.
But yes, this has happened at there was an Amazon construction site in Connecticut a few years ago. In fact, I think there's still a lawsuit related to that. Like we're at the point where it's just if a rope is seen with some sort of loop formation in it, it's not only assumed to be a noose, but the way that they shut everything down. So this is the construction of a new NFL football stadium. I don't know how many $1 billion. It's, however, hundreds of millions. A $2.1 billion project. Okay, major construction project in a major American urban center, and we're going to stop this. We're going to put a halt to it, and all the people there, all the workers, have to take a mandatory, some sort of mandatory sensitivity, anti-bias training. So we're going to take workers off the job for still more time, even though there's no evidence A, that a worker even did it, and B, that it even was a noose. We still have not seen that demonstrated at all.
Imagine if these people ever went to a rodeo.
That's true. Yeah.
Bedlam.
I guess. I mean, I guess they would say those are racist by nature. Like, have you ever seen a black guy doing bull riding? No, racist by nature.
Yes.
Are there black guy rodeo guys? There's got to be some.
There's got to be one. I don't know. It's a generational trauma. It's a real thing.
It's historic barriers to entry, and we have to make it inclusive for all. But this is also just like the Bubba Wallace NASCAR one. There was that pull rope on the
reference
on the
tool,
the garage door.
Shape. Yeah,
but
it was like twine.
Now I'm just waiting for that one, and then of course there was the Jussie Smollett one around his neck that was also like a shoelace or something. Now maybe in the context of an NFL stadium, okay, they're probably going to get that done. It's a couple years out. Hopefully this delay doesn't matter that much. But just wait until they start finding ropes on road construction sites. Those things never get done anyway. If we start delaying road construction sites for rope sightings, I mean, you're going to have. Do
not give the mayor of Montreal any more ideas.
You know, this is back in the day. All the environmentalists would they would stand in front of logging equipment and stuff to try to stop them from chopping down the trees. You guys, I'm not trying to give tips to eco-terrorists or like people who are otherwise exerting undue influence. I guess if you want to stop any kind of development site these days, just take a rope and tie it in a loop and like throw it somewhere over the fence, and you will stop that project from progressing for the next few weeks while everyone's at sensitivity training. Just do it that way.
Yeah, say there was a rope tied around a tree, noosing the tree was getting lynched by a rope. Definitely a hate crime.
Yeah.
Shut down the whole thing.
Well, there's another story in Detroit, and this involves two gay couples, as in one pair of lesbians and then one pair of gay men. And one of the gay guys and one of the lesbians are brother and sister, I think. They're top Obama advisors, like top Obama parenting advisors.
Yes.
Highly regarded.
Oh, okay. Are they actually? No, they're not actually related to Obama, like in a professional way.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on their homosexual expertise, because Obama would like to.
Right. Are they qualified enough to gay a child?
Yeah. But they say they were attacked. Now, seriously speaking, it is a lesbian sister and a gay brother, and they each have their gay partners with them. And they're at some kind of concert or event at this MGM Grand Casino Hotel in Detroit. And they say they were attacked by a homophobic guy. In fact, two guys, I think, but only one of them they have on camera. They were just waiting for their car to be pulled up from valet at this MGM Grand Hotel. And then they were just beaten up because this guy hates gays so much. But here's some of the local reporting.
What was supposed to be a fun night for a group of friends turned into a nightmare after they say they were attacked outside the MGM casino while they were waiting for their car.
Look at your chick behind her. She's pretty dumb.
So why'd you walk up on her?
Or he's pretty dumb. I'm sorry. Whatever she or he is.
The man in this video, 26-year-old William Wilson, now being charged with 4 counts of hate crime after allegedly assaulting 2 gay couples.
We didn't go there for any type of issues. We were all sober. We just went there to get our car.
Chelsea Way says she was waiting for her car early Sunday at MGM Grand Detroit with her wife Celia Howder, as well as Celia's brother David Supel and his fiance, when 2 men approached them.
Celia was like, and then that's when he hit her the first time and she fell. She was trying to get back up, and that's when he hit her again.
Celia says she doesn't remember much from that night after being knocked out.
My physical wounds are starting to heal, but I have a severe concussion.
According to court records, Wilson was arraigned on July 16th, then released on bond. I reached out to his attorney, but I'm still waiting to hear back. The prosecutor's office is considering this a hate crime because it's alleged Wilson intentionally acted to cause harm to the victims because of their perceived sexual orientation. Both women say they're going to be okay, but are hoping Wilson is held accountable, and they believe MGM should be held accountable as well.
We feel like had the staff recognized that there was going to be an issue, this would have never happened, because we could have severely different outcome and she could be dead.
I'm dumbfounded, lost. As a gay man, people question your masculinity all the time, so it's like with this one, I'm questioning a lot. I'm dumbfounded on how that could happen to us.
Okay.
Gay men don't question their own masculinity. Like now, was that the hate crime? Did someone question?
I don't know.
Because they didn't. Where was the guy? First, the guy looks like a piece of shit who was drunk and probably hit them, and fuck him for that.
Maybe.
But
I mean, there was violence clearly.
Because he said, was it because he said like whichever one of you is a dude or not?
I guess. Like, but that's the thing. It's just like the Epstein letter, or just like the noose at this football stadium construction site. I noticed you have video. Is there a reason you didn't show me all the video that you have? I tried to find it. And the guy is saying, now you're right. It does seem that there's alcohol involved for probably everybody. This is after a concert. It's late at night. I assume they had some kind of designated driver when they're getting their car from valet. But that guy is saying something like, oh, you guys are real tough now. Something like that. I can't tell exactly what he said. And it was, and then he said something, you're right, like that guy or that chick, whatever.
That guy or girl, whatever it is. Yeah.
So I guess it's but
where's the context?
Exactly.
What
Why
happened?
is he saying you're really tough now? Or something to that effect. In fact, if he's the aggressor and he's just, hey, I'm here to beat up queers. That's what I do late at night. Right. I just walk around and beat queers, like that old Family Guy joke. Why is he recording? You notice he has a phone in his hand also. If he's committing just an attack on gay people because he hates them, is he recording it to show his friends later? Is he going to brag about it at the queer beater club? What is this about?
Well, when he goes out and assaults people for their sexual preference, he likes to record it.
Yeah,
he does that so that they have evidence of him committing the hate crime.
Yeah. And like you said, there clearly was violence here. I mean, I'm not disputing. That woman, I believe her when she says she has a concussion and she clearly has physical injuries.
Yeah.
So got messed up for sure. I'm just wondering, this guy was just patrolling around in Detroit and happened to see two gay couples and of course is enraged at the sight. So he just preyed upon them because he can't stand seeing that. Or is it possible that in a situation where everyone was consuming alcohol, maybe there was a little bit of shit talking that led up to this?
I'm dead, you fucking bitch!
Who knows what may have been said? Who knows how the aggression started? And then eventually, of course, this guy ends up hitting a woman, which, listen, I just want women removed from the workplace. I don't want them beaten senseless. I'm very
she wasn't wearing her burqa.
Yeah. But I guarantee they participated in this more than they're describing. There's more to this story. And the other reason I say that isn't just because nobody goes up and beats people at random like that, but because if they keep blaming the hotel and casino, the venue. They keep saying that the MGM Grand is responsible because they were talking to security there and security would help them. And one of the gay guys says he can't believe the entire situation lasted less than 15 minutes. If it was like something close to 15 minutes, especially it's not just a guy coming and beating you up for being gay. There was a lot of shit talking over the course of about 15 minutes that led up to this. The reason I say that they're not giving us the full piece of information when they blame giving us the full information when they blame the hotel and casino. They're not saying, as far as I've seen, we're going to sue them, but it's kind of implied multiple times that they're assigning a high degree of responsibility to the hotel and casino in a way that it implies they might. The first paragraph in the story, what started as a trip to downtown Detroit for a concert landed a woman in the hospital. Now her friends and loved ones say they want answers, especially from the MGM Grand Detroit. I would want answers from the guy who kicked my ass, actually. That's who I would want answers from.
This is a cry for, can one of those hate crime race grifting lawyers please come take this and intimidate the hell out of the MGM Grand so they settle out of court and buy us a Subaru.
Be nice to Subaru, all right?
Sorry, an Outback.
Well, that's also a Subaru, but
we can be more specific.
Yeah, that's all right. We could be specific about it.
WRX drivers, you're good in my book. It's okay. Legacy, great car. I wish they still made it.
I don't know. Well, she does look like she might drive one for sure. Anyway, yeah. I mean, there's some
Forester. That's a Forester.
I love Foresters, man.
Sorry.
My family had many Foresters, and
oh
yeah. My mom had I think it was the first car they bought when we moved to Montana. It was it was the first year they did the Forester, 98 model year, manual transmission. It had two engines in it, but I think my mom drove that because my mom used to drive an hour to work each way. And I think she got something like over 500,000 miles on that thing.
No, good cars.
Back in the day, they went forever. Is my mom gay? My mom did drive a Subaru Forester. That's all I can say.
There's signs, man. I don't know. Some questions need to be asked.
Anyway, my mom is less obviously a Subaru driver than this woman right here. That's I'll defend her honor that way. In fact, my parents don't have a single Subaru at the moment. They are.
I believe my dad currently drives a Subaru, so it's good fun.
Well, he would also be a great advisor for Obama children then, so a lot of opportunities available to him. Anyway, that's all I got. We should catch up with Super Chat. We'll call it an evening. So let me hop over to Rumble. And let's see. JP Timbers, enjoy your time off. Definitely jealous. Sounds awesome. Well, thank you. It's going to be great just to intentionally not be online all the time for a little bit. And I try to make efforts to touch grass, so to speak, regularly. But the last year has been so crazy. And even years leading into it with new parenthood, touching grass is harder and harder to do. So I'm going to enjoy time with family. I'm going to touch grass. And you know how it is too, as I'm sure it gets with your business. When you're in business for yourself and you're trying to be productive, you focus on like your core thing. But as you do your core thing, there's like a million other things in your office space that you want to do or fix that you don't have time to do because you have to do your core thing. I have on my phone, I got a list of probably like 30 things, 30 small things, like 30 day projects I want to do over the course of this month that I probably won't even get to all of them. So
no, I haven't. It's the same as you're like, I got a day and you're going to do it. And then someone will call. It's a little bit different, but I mean, you produce a ton of content. I mean, I remember when I was doing one show a week, I was like, it just takes up a lot. I don't think people understand who don't do what you do, how much mental space it takes to prepare, put together a show like this, have all the clips, do thing. I mean, you do it more consistently, but it's a big job. And you do your clip videos, 2 live shows, the Bible study, like you need a break, man. That's intense.
And I love all those things. I don't want any of this to come off as complaining. And I'm not saying you're saying I'm saying that, if that even makes sense. It's just, it's like anything, even when you love doing it. Like think of if you're a professional athlete or something. You're an NFL player. You might love that with every piece of your heart. You still need that off season. And I'm not saying I work as rigorously as like an NFL player does or something. I'm just saying that even something you love, there's benefit to stepping away for a minute just to refresh your perspective a little. And I definitely need that. So
no, they do the off season because their regular season would suffer without it. Like it's absolutely necessary. It's being able to step back, breathe. It's an important thing. And like we were discussing before the show, I have the same thing. It's really hard in my business to just take a couple days because you're gonna lose, that big client that you've been working with for 18 months. They're gonna call and they're gonna be like, I gotta go see this house right now.
Totally.
And you're like, okay, but is it my sanity or whatever I might lose from that one person? And you gotta just sort of take it.
One of the reasons I haven't taken extended time off is, it's a fear of losing what you have too. It's like, okay, you built something that has a loyal following, and I know how much work that took, and I love doing it. But you think like, if you leave for a little while, what if you could never recover what you had? But the more I think about it, it's like you can't live with fear or anxiety that if you were to step away for a second, it would all disappear. And if it did all disappear, that's okay. I have full confidence in my ability to find something to do with my time and to provide for my family. Now, I'm not thinking
it's not all going to disappear.
Yeah. Sometimes you get renewed interest
but it'll be exactly. You have no idea, and you yourself, the quality, just being refreshed. And this is what I tell myself to justify any time off. It's like, it'll be worth it. I'll be better enough that it'll make up for any possible loss. And in the long run, I'll have my sanity and I'll have the things that really matter, which is not driving yourself like just into a wall by not being able to chill out.
There's so many things I want to do because I don't get a lot of. I even budget my dad time. Like here's the time I set aside to make sure I have quality time with my oldest son each week, and of course I have my.
How old is he?
He'll be 4 in September, so he's coming up on 4, and it's hard. It's hard to fit in quality time with my boys, and then all of a sudden, they're like that thing that they loved doing a little while ago, they don't do anymore. That phase of life is gone. Holy crap. So I got to collect a little bit on that. And then another reason I know it's the right reason to do, like this last year has had so many moral questions to me about like the way that things I've been involved in have developed, and also my decision to follow Jesus, to embrace the title Christian. That has created, there are a lot of moral questions with that. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Not that I have doubt, but I want to be clear-minded about these things. And thoughts, the best thoughts come to me when I have to walk between my house and my studio space is in my parents' house, and it's like a 1/4 mile walk. But whenever I'm just out doing that quick walk between the spaces, like clarity comes to me, like I just need to be out there walking around away from a desk. And I feel like some of my best thoughts actually come to me that way. And so I want to get plenty of time just out there. It's weird to think about, like you're trying to think about things passively. Like I'm going to go out and do some mountain thing that I've wanted to do for a little while, not trying to think about a business idea or something.
No.
But like with this in the back of your mind,
I'm going to go out and have great ideas. And then
it's like you just keep it in the back of your mind, and all of a sudden,
I want to go out and enjoy the mountain. And because you're not sitting in front of a screen, the other part of your brain clears out, and that's when ideas come.
Yeah,
when you're doing something else. And I also think like, whatever, maybe this is woo woo, whatever, but sitting in front of this technological device, and I'm sure you have lights like I do, and you're plugged in. Like, this is not a healthy space for the human mind. Like, this is very destructive. And to do this many hours a week, like, it can't be good for whatever it is.
Weird to me when I back up for a second. I'm like, I'm talking by myself in a room with like screens in front of me. I feel like this is, like Plato's cave or something, where you got the projections in front of you, but none of it's real. That's how I felt about this the entire time that I've done it. And it's one reason why public speaking and stuff, I don't really do. Occasionally, sometimes people might ask me to do it, or I went and did it at the January 6th event where all the olds yelled at me. Occasionally, I'll have to speak in front of a crowd. And sometimes it's totally unrelated to politics and like this stuff in my personal life. Mm-hmm. It terrifies me. I get extremely nervous to talk to a group of even like 50 people, because it's totally different with a bunch of people looking back at you. You can see all their eyes. You can feel them. When I'm looking at a computer screen, it's like, well, who the hell knows if someone's even listening to this or not?
You can detach to something exactly the same way. Like, I make my living talking to groups under 5. As soon as there's more than 5 people in the group and it's like a thing, it's the anxiety is off the charts. I'm a babbling fool. I can't. It's my nightmare. Number one fear. The internet is weird, and you're like, oh, thousands of people. But you can put it out of your mind, because to me, this is you and me sitting in a room talking shit.
Well, it absolutely is that, and it's one reason I have such a high level of respect for stand-up comedians too. And I don't consume a ton of stand-up comedy. In fact, a lot of it I end up not liking. But what I can appreciate, the pressure of not just being the center of attention in that way. Like, it's hard enough to give a serious speech and make coherent points to, say, convince someone or whatever, for whatever reason you may be speaking. To get up there and actually make people laugh by yourself with all of those eyes on you and all that pressure. As far as the ability to work a crowd goes, you could say what you will about musicians or other forms of entertainment, but something about just like a guy up there on his own with a mic, and that's it. He doesn't have any fancy production beyond that. That is a high level of performance in that sort of situation.
Yeah. I think that's also a personality type of thing, because I remember in elementary school, I did a lot of theater, like acting and stuff, stage stuff. And there's a massive high you get from it. Like, it's crippling anxiety, and then you do it, and while you're doing it, you're very like zen in the moment. It just kind of flows through you, and then after you get out, and it's just endorphin rush. That's incredible.
That never hits me. Like, when I get the jitters, if I'm speaking in public or something, it's like you get that. I don't know if people know what I'm talking about, but when you're nervous, it's almost like the muscles in your chest or your abdomen kind of tense up, and I find it hard to breathe, and your voice gets shaky because you're not breathing properly.
Right. Well, I still get that sometimes, like even just jumping on this stream.
Yeah.
When you do the intro, I'm like, I wish we could just jump on and go in, because you'll talk, and then like you start getting the thoughts, and then maybe it's the way I sit, don't breathe right, and it's the shallow breaths, and I have to stop and go, okay. Deep breaths, and you're like, okay, I was just making myself hyperventilate for no reason, and then that stresses you out, and that can cause more anxiety and become a self-fulfilling negative stress loop, and you gotta just get past it.
That's why I just press the buttons.
You suck. Fuck you.
Try to warm you up that way. All right. Anyway, thank you, JP. I appreciate it. That's obviously I got a lot of thoughts on what I'm trying to achieve here. Spirit of Lexington. Whenever I hear the conspiracy theories can't be true because of the number of people who you have to keep quiet, I think about the Epstein documents. Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Bingo.
There are a lot of people quiet. If we believe the premise, again, DOJ is telling me 1,000 victims. That's a lot of people quiet. Even if it's just the victims. As far as we're aware, the only one speaking publicly, I mean, it's not even as far as we're aware. The only one who spoke publicly, right, is Virginia Giuffre, who mysteriously killed herself. Mm-hmm. The DOJ is telling me 1,000 people were victimized either in the form of, I guess, being directly raped or in the form of child pornography or whatever other ways Jeffrey Epstein may have victimized them. Even for all the victims to stay quiet is quite the conspiracy theory, I suppose.
But are they even staying quiet? This is what I'm saying. Listen to the Daryl Cooper thing, because it makes a lot of these things make sense, at least in the context, not in terms of what the Trump administration is doing, but in terms of what Epstein did and why, maybe they don't want to talk. And really the victimization was just being engaged in something at an inappropriate age. And it wasn't necessarily the sordid conspiracy, more conspiracy type ideas that are out there. It's just, again, I haven't listened to the long enough form version to get the facts, but I have a good sense when you hear something like that rings true. Like that seems,
isn't he a bigger
takes
Nazi
the mystery
than Grok,
out of it.
though?
Like, oh yeah, no, he's yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's not a historian, and he hasn't been there.
Right. Where does he rank relative to Elmo?
Same.
Okay.
Elmo's made a little bit more legit.
Elmo
and
perspective.
Daryl
right.
Cooper, he's never been on Sesame Street, but maybe he has been there.
I'll have to check it out. Swedish Snow Ape. I'm a cyclist. Okay. Well, I'll allow it for the sake of Super Chat. I'm a cyclist.
There a reference I'm not getting there.
Well,
is that like a jogger? I don't know.
Oh, no. It's not even a euphemism. It's just like cyclists, road cyclists are menaces to society.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you have to specify cyclist because a lot of times people get uptight. I'm not talking about mountain bikers. I'm not talking about a respectful cyclist who sticks to trails around a community. I'm talking about the sort of person who puts on the entire outfit. Not only that, but decides not only should I ride on a public high traffic street, but I'm going to pick the one that's like, I don't know, a relatively high speed, say 45, 55 miles an hour and no shoulder. That's where I'm going to go ride my bike so that everyone has to be behind me and very annoyed. All right.
Yeah.
But
and also avoid all the rules of the road that a motor vehicle should follow, which you are technically. I live in a city fucking chock full of them.
And they morph between pedestrian and vehicle depending
on whether the light is red or green.
Yes. I saw someone do that the other day where they were trying to claim the crosswalk while riding their bike. Fuck off, man. I'll stop for a pedestrian.
Yeah.
But you don't, you're riding your bike, you're a vehicle. You stop at that stop sign, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'll run you over.
It was so nice because really, like, you understand, Montreal's insane. There's bike lanes like every second street and bike paths and all the things, and they'll still ride on the one major artery that doesn't have those things and be fucking obnoxious. And but one block down from the street where they do that, there is a street that's a semi-major artery, and it has 2 bike lanes, and there were cops sitting in 3 different intersections pulling over cyclists for not stopping.
Oh, wow.
I want to sit there.
Holy
the
cow.
Best thing I've ever seen.
Just now, just please kneel
and they
on
were
their
there,
necks.
they're like, what? Like a crime was being committed against them because the cop was like, come here.
Give him the Derek Chauvin. Get him out of prison and have him deal with the cyclist. Okay, back to the chat, Swedish Snow Ape. I am a cyclist.
Oh, sorry.
I wear the bib shorts, the fancy jersey, and I ride in the road. I deserve the road more than drivers because I travel under my own power. Roads are for the strong. All right, so he's like he's a proud cyclist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't hate that.
Well, you're standing up for your people. I can respect that.
I am not going to be niggardly.
Thank you for your support.
Do you follow the rules of the road? Do you give right of way?
Yeah.
Then I can't hate you.
Well,
I'm talking to him.
Yeah, if you at least stick to vehicle rules, I have more respect for it, but a lot of them don't. Let's see. Dangerous Spaces. Thank you, Swedish Snow. Remember, one of Matt's most viewed Tenet segments was a discussion with Frank on the philosophy and etiquette of returning or not returning shopping carts. Russian propaganda is kind of weird and confusing. Yeah, I mean, the truth about the Tenet project, for all of its flaws, and of course there were many, and I'm happy to acknowledge and talk about those, but I almost never talked about Russia or Ukraine. There were a few mentions. When I asked Grok, what did I even say? It struggled to produce discussions about Russia and Ukraine that I had on the platform because there were very few. And so like it is so strange that this Russian propaganda farm or whatever was being directed here. Yeah, they want me to produce material talking about like shopping cart etiquette or some of the other weird stuff, cyclist topics or whatever might have come up, you know. That show was organized as kind of a similar to this one, but a little bit different, a little more interview focused. None of the people I interviewed had anything to do with Russia or Ukraine. It was pretty much entirely domestic U.S. politics.
No, it makes no sense. Like literally the entire basis of the DOJ complaint is that Russians can't have produced media.
The basis of the complaint was not just that like a Russian guy spent money. It was that they failed to register as foreign agents. So they were exerting influence.
But foreign agents have to, there's a political context to that. No?
Yeah, they have to
just because you're foreign doesn't make you an agent.
Right. And so I would have liked to see the case prosecuted, at least from an intellectual perspective, for that reason, because of course you're right. The crime is not just foreign people spent money. The crime would be
that was from everything I know that was the crime. There's no evidence that it's anything other than they were Russian and spent money.
They pulled
There's no
a few
direct link
things.
to the Kremlin. There's no instructing you to do anything even remotely propagandist. We discussed this when you were on my show a year and a half ago or whatever. If anyone wants to see that, I've never plugged the show because I don't do it, but it's at Liberty and Matt came on and we talked about this. There's nothing there.
The influence, the evidence of directives or influence that they have is very flimsy. I think the best they have was that one time someone floated an idea for a video on the Discord server that was about Ukraine, and maybe it got made. Someone was like, hey, someone should consider a video about this, something to that effect. Now, that was never sent to me specifically, and occasionally people, like on that server, there was a section of the server that was about like ongoing news stories where people would just be linking news all the time, like things that people might find interesting or things maybe people like the tenant account wants to post about or this or that. But everybody had their own section of the server. So there was like a Matt Christiansen section of the server where I would be in there, my assistant Tim would be in there, and I would communicate with the people at Tenant that I had to about how I was going to make my posts. Nobody ever posted in there, hey Matt, make this video, say this thing, do as we tell you, because that would have been a violation of the contract. And if they had evidence of that, of course they would have put that in the indictment. They scraped all our Discord stuff and they thought, wow, this is really boring. Hardly anyone even talks to each other, and it's mostly a bunch of lame memes and links to news stories. That's pretty much the entirety of the server.
No, if there was a story, that would have been the story. But even saying, do a video on Ukraine, it wasn't like, do a video bashing Ukraine. It was like, why don't you cover this topic?
It was some specific thing, like some specific part of the war or something. I can't remember what exactly it was.
But was there instruction towards a bias?
I don't think it said, say this about this story. I think it just was suggesting the story. Yeah. Anyway. Let me thank you guys over on Rumble. We're all set there. I think we're good on Odyssey too, but I always have to scroll down on Odyssey. Yeah, we're good. Thank you for the Elon Musk meme blankets. And let's head on over to YouTube and we'll close it out. Let's see, back it up a little bit. Long Dong John, I think is where I left off. Matt and I once made love at the Coldplay concert. Even though we were caught in the act on Kiss Cam, it was still the second gayest thing to happen there. All right.
Yeah, a Coldplay joke. That's funny.
That's a big game, man.
There were a lot of Coldplay jokes. Do I dare admit that there are a select few Coldplay tracks that I think are pretty good?
I'll back you up there.
First, I'm going to defend Subaru, and now I'm going to defend Coldplay. I think Yellow is a great track.
No, see, now I got to fight you.
I guess what I just have to say to you is, are you gay?
So, okay. Tell me why.
Wait, I'll one-up you. Ghost Stories is actually an excellent album.
I don't follow Coldplay enough to know all their albums, but what songs are on it?
The only one you would know is A Sky Full of Stars. Other than that, it's a sky full of stars. It's a remix by some DJ.
Oh, well, see,
but it's the last song. But the whole album is like very down tempo, really chill. It had no hits. I think it was their worst selling album ever. And it for someone like me who likes just sort of calm, jazzy type music, phenomenal. Love it.
I also like the song "Fix You" from the Chicken video earlier.
It's fantastic.
It's a good song. But to your point, actually, some of my favorite Coldplay content is not actually the band's tracks themselves. It's a lot of like Coldplay or Chris Martin with like Kygo or like electronic music. Like that stuff's I like that a lot.
That's Sky Full of Stars. It was him and the Chainsmokers, I think.
Yes, yeah, Chainsmokers.
It's a fantastic song.
What's that other Something Just Like This? Great song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's that's the best stuff.
Maybe that was the Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
Something Just Like This. And Sky Full of Stars is like I don't know, some other guy.
Yeah. Anyway, now that I've been fully outed, not that anybody had their doubts, but you know, I hate cyclists, but I defend Subaru and Coldplay. In fact, you know what I'm going to do on my break? I'm going to drive my Subaru listening to Coldplay, okay?
Are you a gay man? And mentor your children.
Yeah. I'm going to become an Obama child advisor on my break. Anyway, Joshy Boy, adultery should be handled by the church, not the state. Far more effective. Now, I agree that we have to get people into a place of moral revival, and the church is the best authority on that, not necessarily the state. But I wonder, in a society where the church has at least in recent years and decades, a declining role.
Did you see the clip today? It was on Twitter of the gay men being walking down the aisle in a Catholic church at a gay wedding.
No,
I just saw it before we went live. It's all over. The guy's in like a jort suit. Like,
okay, that's the gayest thing about that wedding.
It's really gay.
Okay,
and
suit.
fully endorsed.
We're talking Canadian tuxedo, but like cut off shorts.
Cut off shorts, tux, gay wedding, Catholic church. Just to put that in the search bar, and it will come up in pink cut off shorts, tux.
I'm not searching
Catholic church. Pope sucks.
Yeah, I'll just believe.
I don't know what. And I don't know what church you are. I was raised non-denominational evangelical.
Yeah.
So I don't. I have my critiques of all of them, but better than the government generally for issues of morality.
I guess my only question, Joshy Boy, and we could get into this next time you're on, is I would grant your premise that the church is the proper moral authority, but how do we get to a place where the church actually has a little bit more of that authority, where people embrace the church and respect authority over themselves for moral reasons instead of just rejecting the church and saying it's a bunch of lies and we don't care what they say? I don't know. Greg Olson.
Stuff.
The cheating couple's exposure shows that eventually everyone's sin will come into the light and be exposed. If not in this life, then when they are face to face with their creator. I think that is trusting in God's justice in that way is very difficult to do sometimes, but it is, I think, the mark of wisdom and maturity. The church sermon I heard today was really about resisting the thirst for vengeance, and I know that's really hard, especially we're talking about scalps that need to be taken by the Justice Department, getting revenge prosecutions. But the idea here was to resist impulses toward vengeance and trust that God's justice will be delivered in this life or the next. That the wrong that was committed against you, that person will pay a price for it in this world, or they will face God in his judgment one day, and they'll pay the price at that point. But that sin has incurred a price that will be paid, and you need to trust in that rather than acting on your vengeful impulses. And that was really interesting to think about.
Yeah, well, as I'd like to believe that, from my basic understanding, vengeance is mine, right? Like you can want it, just believe that God will take care of it.
Yes, which is definitely different than thirsting after every opportunity at vengeance that you may personally have.
And don't do it. Leave it to God.
Yeah. And I think it's true. Like,
as someone who just thirsts a lot for vengeance, I'm sticking to this.
But if you believe if you believe that the moral order of the world is real, that God is behind a moral truth, then it's true. Like you can only defy that moral truth for so long; it will catch up to you, and you have to trust in that. Although our government is maybe the best counterexample I've ever seen in my life, but I'm still going to trust in God's justice. Honest Joe Biden. They all laughed at me for my health in the White House, but Donald's not laughing now, is he? Wait a minute. Matt's not doing any streams in August? Come on, man. What am I going to do on Sunday and Wednesday nights for the next month?
Come on, man.
I guess you're going to have to take a break and find something. The good news, honest Joe Biden, I don't know if you'll survive through August, actually.
Get a part-time job, work it during those hours you would be watching Matt, save all that money, send it to Matt.
Yes, please work for me while I'm on break. Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Honest Joe Biden, if you could please go catch up with your son Hunter's bag of cash and send that right over. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. And of course, I appreciate the well wishing for the break, even if in character. Long Dong John, Matt, AI is really taking over everything. AI is really taking over everything. Even Matt's outsourcing his hit pieces to it. I swear I didn't bait Grok into this. This was organic. This was authentic. No paid actors here. This was real. Esoterica Unbound. You can feed Grok enough facts to change its mind, or quote unquote mind, but you can't do the same with a lefty. Maybe this really is a simulation and they are NPCs. Well, that's what I found fascinating. Like, I got Grok to articulate its premises or its principles, and I say, you're not actually holding yourself to those principles. And Grok said, you know what? You're right. I'm not. I'm going to change my mind.
Isn't that weird? Like, that's probably the first time in your life that's ever happened.
It was surprisingly efficient.
Am I engaging with like an actually sentient being here?
Well, and to win a Twitter argument that way is like unheard of. That's part of the reason I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Maybe there is hope for post-humanity.
Purpose of the ages. First of all, thanks for the support for the show.
I am not going to be niggardly.
God bless, fellas. Enjoy the time off. Matt, please, for goodness sake, avoid Brokeback Mountain while you're out there rediscovering yourself.
That's a big game, man.
I'm going to drive my Subaru, listen to Coldplay, and get home
and go to Broke. Did that happen? That was in Montana, wasn't it?
I
never saw the
movie. It was in
Wyoming.
I'm
super fucking straight.
Of course.
Okay.
The movie was set in Wyoming. But the story, I can't remember how Brokeback Mountain became a theme of the stream. I think it's because it was one of the few movies I had seen. The whole movie review bit was born on Matt's never seen a movie in his life. But I had seen Brokeback Mountain.
I have seen one.
Why had I seen Brokeback
Mountain?
Because Brokeback Mountain came out my senior year of high school, 2006, in the spring. And I know this is going to sound preposterous and very Obama advisor related, but my friend and I decided, wouldn't it be funny if we went to go see Brokeback Mountain?
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
And we did. We drove an hour to go see Brokeback Mountain in Billings, Montana, an hour away from where I went to high school. And I don't even know why. It's just like the movie was viral at the time. It was like before social media, but like...
Wasn't it because it's Heath Ledger, right?
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
And didn't he just do 10 things? What are the 10 Things I Hate About You? Is that...
I don't know what he did right before that.
Him where he had the long hair.
Yeah, this was, of course, before Dark Knight. This was post-Patriot, before Dark Knight. Yeah.
This was pre Four Feathers, if you're a Heath Ledger fan.
I don't even know that one.
Great movie.
Anyway, that's the meme he's talking about, is like... Matt had never seen a movie, but he had seen Brokeback Mountain. In the meantime, I've watched 150 movies and reviewed them all. Okay. And now I'm on break from that. Let's see. Let's see. Don't watch Brokeback Mountain while you're out there rediscovering yourself, and have no fear. There will be at least a few of us here to support your show when you return. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
We love you. You're very special.
And yeah, I in one way or another, no matter what happens, I enjoy doing this. I'm coming back to do it. I'll figure out exactly what I want to do with it on the other side. And by the way, I'm not expecting radical changes either. I'm not like looking to go out there and drastically change what I do, but sometimes you just feel like I need to step away to get some perspective and think a little bit creatively about what's going on. Just like have those ideas hit me. I want to put myself in position to have that happen.
Mm-hmm. Go up to like, what is it, Kicking Horse, with the dam where it's the road to the sun.
Oh, you're talking Hungry Horse and Glacier.
Hungry Horse, Hungry Horse.
Actually, incidentally, my family and I do plan to take a trip up to Flathead Lake just to hang out for a little bit. It's a great vacation spot, so go there for a few days.
Gorgeous, stunning.
I don't think I'm going to go into Glacier National Park though this time of year because it's insane.
It's a bit touristy.
Yeah, it's insane. If you want to be stuck in Indian and Japanese traffic for hours.
I can't. That was the last time I was there was like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was just groups of 100 bikers at a time. But I loved it because
bikers or cyclists? You talking motor?
No, bikers like motorcyclists.
Yeah.
And and they go there because the no speed limit, beautiful highways
Back in the day,
unmatched scenery. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine now. It's probably just
then the feds got their claws in us, and now we do have speed limits.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Hadrian, Strelkov, and Mozgovoy are heroes. I don't know who that is. Do I dare search it? Do you know those names?
I got nothing.
Russian separatist forces in Ukraine, I think.
There you go.
So, yeah. This is, I don't know much about what... So, they were pro-Russian paramilitaries in the Donbass. So, I guess they were like pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine forces in that disputed territory. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, there you go, Grok. I was forced to say Russian propaganda. So, you got me there. Thank you, Hadrian.
Straight to jail.
The purpose of the ages. Matt is supporting Coldplay. The rediscovering process has begun. Please, someone save Matt before he goes full Subaru. Sometimes I reveal my deepest, darkest secrets, and that's that maybe there's a Coldplay track or two worth listening to. Injured Guardian. The artist Maluka arranged and sang a waltz version of Yellow. Okay, so Maluka did some sort of a cover of Yellow. It's excellent. P.S. Would spike strips work to deter cyclists from certain places? I don't know. I mean, it would work, but so would like a thin line of rope across the road to clothesline them as they go by. I mean, work for what, and is it legal?
Dental floss for good times.
Nobody decapitate
no
someone
foul.
that way if they're going fast enough.
I think it's just a shock. They'd survive and be like, maybe I'll learn how to drive a motor vehicle.
I get so fascinated by it because, I mean, in this community, there's no shortage of really good trail. Like, first of all, the mountain biking's awesome if you're into that. But I know maybe you like road biking for whatever reason. That's fine. But even if you're into that, you're not into mountain biking, you're into like road bike riding.
Downhill mountain biking is fun.
Yeah, or however you want to do it. There's like chairlift served mountain biking and other opportunities here. But my point is that even if you like road biking, there are all kinds of awesome trails in this county. Why would you? How is it fun to be tailed by car traffic for miles? That seems very stressful to me. It's like you ever have to walk from point A to point B down a busy road, and maybe there's not enough of a shoulder or side space on the street, and the cars are kind of close to you, and it feels sort of sketchy. Why would you choose to do that on a bike? I don't understand why that's enjoyable recreationally. And I know it's recreational because you're wearing the outfit. You're not desperately biking from point A to point B because your car's broken down. Yeah. You're doing it because this is your idea of a fun Saturday afternoon.
I'll give you a run for your Coldplay money here, Matt. I have, because I live downtown, and I have a nice German sedan that I drive for work, but I also bought me and my wife matching scooters, like Vespa type deals.
Yeah.
Which, to me, perfect medium. It's a motor vehicle. I'm on the road. It's gay as fuck, but it burns gasoline.
Okay.
And it's
not as gay as it could be. It's not electric.
Yeah. I'm not powering it with my legs and impeding traffic.
Which is good because you don't have legs with power.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I had one. It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm now a cripple.
Anyway. All right. Fair enough. If you're going to grant me a little bit of grace on Subaru, I'll grant you a little bit of scooter grace. Whatever those things are.
Super. Yeah.
All right. I think we're all set. Let me check up here. Yeah. We're good on Rumble, good on Odyssey, and good on YouTube and Tippy. So, anything else you want to say?
Are we doing Discord? Is there Discord anymore?
No, there's no Discord super chat. You're thinking of calls on Wednesday nights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Don't do them on Sunday. But anything else you want to say before we're out of here?
Not without a topic prompt.
Oh, okay.
Other than thank you. Thank you for having me on. You're good guy.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your vacation.
One more chat.
I appreciate being
One more
here.
chat I got to get to. It takes a second to come in, but I know it's there. Eventually it'll pop up. I don't want to leave Hadrian hanging.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I saw it pop up. Where is it?
I saw it too, and it came and went. This should be the new. This is the new outro music, Matt.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, I found it. Hadrian. Shut up, Jeopardy music. All right. Hadrian.
Too much duct tape.
Look up Slavland Stalker on Substack for more info on Strelkov and Mozgovoy.
Say that sentence 3 times.
That's a tough one. But yeah, this is this pro-Russia group in the Donbass.
Mm-hmm.
Been watching you since 2016. God bless, Matt. Well, thank you for sticking around as long as you have. I really appreciate it. And God bless you, of course, as well. All right. I think we're all set to get out of here. So we will leave it there. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thanks to live chatters and super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks to my guest, Alison Morrow, AlisonMorrow.locals.tv. Find her links in the description. Thanks, of course, to Mark Aaron for sitting in at Liberty M. Aaron on X, linked in the description. He is also a very nice person with admirable qualities, or whatever it is he said about it. Thanks to producer Tim for his assistance as always. If you'd like more to listen to, check out the podcast page on my website. You'll find not just the video show, but the audio show too, if you prefer audio podcast listening. Like if you're going to get lost in the mountains to have some profound thoughts arrive, that's where you'd go. MattChristiansenMedia.com/podcasts, MattChristiansenMedia.com for anything else show related, or mattis.gay if you prefer brevity. I'll be back on Wednesday. Hope to see you then.